corner is a little too hot for you. You're going to say you wanted to play left field?
No, but I will do this.
You're not Gary Gaetti?
Not so, but I will do this.
Yeah.
If somebody in left field or center field drops even the most routine of fly balls, let alone making a spectacular play going over the fence and sacrificing their body, if that does not happen, meaning if a fly ball is dropped or not caught or you could make the catch but you don't, I will be barking that I should have been in the outfield.
You can count on that happening with me. Like they put me in right field. I don't know why.
Well, right field's doesn't get a ton of action historically.
They're trying to hide you out there, Linz.
I know, but even then, it's like.
I mean, Cappy's acting like he's Mike Lowell out there. One of the best fielding third basemen in the world. You know what I'm saying? So.
I kind of felt like I was like early Chris Bryant.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like early in his career.
Kind
of a deal.
Placido Polanco or something.
Oh, Placido Polanco.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, man.
Highest fielding percentage ever at third base.
Really? Is that good or bad?
That is good.
Okay, good.
Like
I didn't
the
know
best
if you were
fielding
highest.
percentage.
All right, I wonder if I should have the lowest,
No, you want the best, like the highest.
All right, well, I got that.
Yeah, Nolan Arenado, that's you.
I'm starting to analyze my film a little bit more from yesterday.
You do need to get your butt down. That was immediately what I thought, too.
I think so, too, and I think I got to bend my knees more. It's a good thing I practiced last night, studied the film, George.
Yeah, you and Anthony Rendon, you should work out together.
I'm ready for tonight's practice. Now, you practiced once earlier today.
Yeah, just once earlier today.
Will there be more practice for George?
Probably not. I don't think I need to field anymore. I feel that was the one thing I was I feel like I'm going to make contact. I'm not worried about that part of it. But I hadn't been on a baseball field or a softball field outside of T-ball for my son in 10 years, like myself playing. So I wanted to make sure that I could get to all the different balls in the different areas he was going to hit them in.
Now, did you take any hacks?
No, didn't you hear I said earlier?
I heard you say you did some fielding.
Right.
And you're not
I said
worried,
that the batting cage was closed when we got
there. You
there.
guys were out there on the field. You guys couldn't take a couple hacks?
Yeah, I guess we could have.
It looked
but we
like
were gonna go to the batting cage.
Yeah.
And then it was still closed. It wasn't open yet at Wilson Park in Torrance. So we just went to the beach hut and went to eat.
Oh. I just figured that Beto would say, here, take the bat. Let me pitch to you a little bit.
We can get Beto on the phone if you want to ask him why we didn't do that.
Well, I'm surprised. It looked like he was hitting some fungo to you.
Yeah. Yeah, he was hitting them. He was chopping them to me. He was grounding them to me. We started slow and worked our way to some more speed, and we did okay.
All right. Yeah, I felt like I got a really solid workout last night. I did grounders. I did pop-ups. I pitched a little bit. I swung the bat from both sides of the plate. 5 tools, people. 5 tools.
What are those 5 tools?
5 times. Okay. What are those 5 tools? The ability to ground the ball, the ability to catch fly balls, the ability to pitch, and the ability to hit lefty and righty. 5 tools, 5 times, right here. 5 alive.
Right.
5 alive.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. Now, Laura, I have a question for you, girl.
What's up, Cap?
Are you planning on doing any practicing for our team?
I was, and then I'm like, well, I'm not really playing like that.
Well, you're in the lineup.
Kind of.
What does that mean?
Sort
She's
of.
the DH.
Yeah.
So what, you don't take that seriously?
I don't
That's
feel
like arguably the most important position, right?
No. I just feel like No, but I am. I'm going tomorrow.
You are. I love how our entire team, and I don't mean Team Slee, I mean everybody, Team Slee, Team Mace, George, we are all prep freaks, and we are all at least willing to have one practice under our belt. I don't know how many people are going to show up having not practiced at all. Laura's going out on the field. Lindsay, you say you're going to go to hit balls with Steve Mason. Is that right?
Yep.
And Funchy, what's your story?
I'm going after the show.
With who?
By myself.
Where at?
Putting some work. I found this place in El Monte, right off the freeway, so I'm just going to hit it up because it's close. It's like maybe 20 minutes away from here.
Cap, he ready. His whole getup. I don't know if we're streaming live, but if people
we
can
are.
see, okay, his whole getup, he's ready to
Let
play.
me
Now,
see.
are you going in baseball pants? Or
No, I got my workout clothes on.
I was just going to say, I'm going in shorts, so it's
I
going to
got
be hot.
I got some workout clothes on right
I
now.
don't like his shirt, but it's all good.
Let me see what do you have, a vote for Jorge shirt?
Yeah.
For her,
Yeah.
shirt.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Vote for Jorge.
I love how y'all love me. Thank you, Funch.
Sorry.
Vote for Laura.
It was
Well,
already
there's no vote
hot.
for Laura Shirt.
It was hot this morning.
Dude, it's so hot. That's the only reason, Cappy, that I'm like, because the place that I'm going to tomorrow is outdoors.
Okay, so what's it going to do to your hair?
My hair's already a mess, bro. I washed it today, and it feels like I haven't washed it in 3 days.
Hell to the no.
It's so bad.
Oh, it's a
So
shame.
mad.
But even if you don't get any work in before Friday, during Friday, like at the place, there's a bunch of batting cages.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's a bunch of batting cages.
At the Field of Dreams.
Yeah, Field of Dreams in
All
West
right.
Covina.
West Covina Sportsplex.
They're so legit. Funch called because he wanted to get in there to practice, and they're like, "Sorry, we are closed for the week for an event for ESPN LA."
Yeah, for
No way.
maintenance.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, want to
That's
go
awesome.
get some swings in.
Yep.
All right. All
West
right, well,
Covina don't play, man.
No, West
66.
Covina don't get down like that.
I should
You know?
know. I live
I
there.
know you. I know you know.
Mm-hmm.
I know it. So I'm psyched about this now, George. I'm feeling really good about myself,
Mm-hmm.
and making contact's really not enough. I mean, the number of home runs that were hit last year. Kirk Morrison had like 2 or 3. Beto had a couple. Matt
But
Burke got lucky
I'm-
and ran
I'm
into
not-
one.
I've never been anything but a contact hitter in my entire life. What am I going to try to swing for the fences when that's not what I do?
Oh no, that's what I do. That is
Again,
what I
this
do.
is the difference.
Make no
right?
mistake.
He thinks.
He oversells
Mm-hmm.
and then underdelivers.
Okay, I mean that may be the case. That absolutely may be the case. I mean, you know, the likelihood of Mookie Betts walking into Dave Roberts' office and goes, "Hey Skip, tonight I'm going to hit 3 home runs." That probably doesn't happen. You know.
Well, I mean, he did sign himself up for the home run derby.
No, I realize that, but that was just because his wife wanted him to be in the home run derby.
Oh, okay.
You know, I mean, Mookie was like, "Dude, I don't really hit home runs in batting practice," and then he was right. He doesn't. Hits home runs in games. That's got to be my deal, George. I got to hit home runs in games. Mm-hmm. You got to have impact in a game like this. People remember Kirk Morrison's performance. They remember Beto's walk-off. They remember Travis's dongs. Okay, they remember Matt Burke getting lucky and running into
Careful
one.
with the phrasing there.
What do you mean? Which part?
That's what you said about Travis.
Think you know, Cap.
He had some dingers.
There, that's better.
Different than dongs?
Could be.
All right. Anyway, those guys are home run hitters, George. I want to be a home run hitter. Mm-hmm. It's softball.
Okay. Well, you do you, boo.
I am going to try, Boo. Thank you.
Yeah.
Just don't get hurt, please.
Yeah, I'm going to try. I'm going to try not to get hurt, too. Try and do that also.
I mean, I just want you not to get hurt, right? Because last year you came into this thing and you had this big chichong on your.
Did you see Greg's big chichon on his forehead?
Yeah.
What happened to Greg?
He hit himself. Apparently, he had a concussion yesterday. That's what he kept saying.
I don't know what he did. What did he do that he got a
He was
concussion?
fixing the board.
He was fixing the white orbit thing in the bottom.
What?
He said pegó on the bottom.
Oh,
of
so
He
you
got
hit
hurt at
coming
work?
back up?
It jumped out and bit him.
No way. Is he
Yeah.
doing like a workers' comp case or something? Is he going to need a few months?
Now that you put the idea out there, Cap.
Maybe you need to talk to him. I don't know.
That kid
Cap.
would never leave work. No,
No,
way,
he
man.
wouldn't. No.
That'd be like, that guy a couple weeks ago, the Orioles were playing the Yankees, and the shortstop threw the ball, and it went over the first baseman's head, and it hit that camera guy right in the face and busted his orbital bone, and he was taken off the field in a stretcher. That could happen to Bergman, and Bergman's like, I'm fine. I'm not leaving this radio station.
Yeah.
No chance I'm leaving.
No, I agree with you. He's
Check
not
this
leaving.
out, George. Check this out.
What are you going to do?
FS1. That's right. I'm going to watch the CONCACAF Gold Cup semifinals with the USA versus Panama.
Okay, great.
That's what I'm going to do.
I'm happy for you.
I'm very proud of myself.
Who are the
I wrote-
LAFC playing next? Since you were so into the LAFC, you said the other day.
Yeah, they're playing after our show.
Did I say that?
Yes.
You did. You said
Oh.
you were going to start following the LAFC when you said you weren't into the WNBA.
First place, St. Louis is coming to town.
What are they
to
called?
the bank. The St. Louis Firebirds show up to take on the number 1 team and defending champion LAFC.
No, the St. Louis City is what they're called.
The St. Louis City Firebirds.
No Firebirds. Yeah, no Firebirds. Yeah, no Firebirds.
On ESPN.
Yeah.
710 ESPN.
Mm-hmm.
You going to the game tonight? You going to LAFC?
I'm not. I'm going home.
I would have liked to have gone.
You want me to have Mario stop in here when he gets here, Cap?
Oh, yeah, Mario will be here. We could do
Love
that.
Mario. You I'd love to talk to Mario. He's the leadoff hitter on my team. Well,
Now,
sleeper
you're the
team.
only one that hasn't trained with Beto, right?
That's right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
Coach Beto.
Interesting.
Coach Beto.
All right, maybe we can get Beto on here before the end of this hour, but we'll talk to Beto hopefully, and then coming up next, Cappy. Let speaking of baseball or softball or ball, we can talk about this All-Star game yesterday because I do think there were a couple of things that stuck out to me, and people just love to complain. Now I will be also complaining, well, sort of complaining about something, not really complaining, just kind of observing, but people love to complain, and I'll explain what that means next.
The battle for playoff position is on for LAFC.
Crosses in the middle, Baylor, goal! Ball don't lie!
And coming to downtown LA for the first time is first place St. Louis City.
Oh, boy, another shot, goal!
It's the reigning MLS Cup champs facing the top team in the West. Pre-game of LAFC and St. Louis City starts Wednesday night at 7 p.m. on 710 ESPN and the ESPN LA app.
All right, hey, make sure you get yourself out to the West Covina Sportsplex coming up on July 14th. It is our All-Star Friday night. Team Mason and Team Travis. I'm on Mason's team for the second year in a row. We're looking to go back-to-back. I'm looking to hit another home run. I'm looking to beat Slee's team for the second year in a row. We're going to have a great time. Come on out, celebrate with us. You'll have a great time. You'll see some very bad softball. You're going to laugh. You'll have a ball. Come on out. All-Star Friday night, West Covina Sportsplex on July 14th.
Well, let me tell you something, brother. It's the All-Star Friday night. We're going to see you there from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. at the West Covina Sportsplex, brother. And let me tell you something. This year, I'm hitting home runs, not giving them up. Ugh!
The battle for playoff position is on for LAFC.
Crosses in the middle, Baylor, goal! Ball don't lie!
And coming to downtown LA for the first time is first place St. Louis City.
Oh, boy, another shot, goal!
It's the reigning MLS Cup champs facing the top team in the West. Pre-game of LAFC and St. Louis City starts Wednesday night at 7 p.m. on 710 ESPN and the ESPN LA app.
Central Los Angeles.
How to survive in South Central.
Yes, O'Shea's dad, Ice Cube. That's right, How to Survive in South Central. Sedano Kap continues your Wednesday afternoon right now.
Rule number 1, get yourself a gun. A knife in your butter beat. Keep it in your glove compartment. Making jackers, they love to get it started. Now, if you're white, you can
When are we going to get Cube on the show?
I don't know. Ask him.
Yo, Cube. You available to come on the show? I know you want to talk about the big three and how the man is holding down your league. Let's do it.
Rest in peace, John Singleton, by the way.
R.I.P.
One of the greatest directors. Directed that movie.
Funch said that we can't get Ice Cube on because O'Shea's proprietary. But I feel like, you know.
Well, if O'Shea's proprietary, does it mean that
Yeah, his dad automatically
Senior
is
is
it, right?
proprietary?
I feel like you should get him for the big three stuff.
Oh,
Right.
yeah, he's been all over the place. He was on Joe Rogan. He's been promoting all over.
Said he wanted to go on every podcast, on every radio show. He wanted to do as much media as he can because he wants to put the word out that the man is holding down the big three. And I'm here to do my part, to help.
I even looked online to see if there are any games out here, but there aren't.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
But it's so
I'd go.
cool.
I'd go. I just want to support Ice Cube. That's all. Just want to support the Cube.
Now, why haven't you supported Beto by hiring him as your coach?
I just feel like it's just not been convenient for me and Coach Beto to get together.
Okay.
You know? But I would love to have Coach Beto coach me up a little bit. Maybe somebody would tell me, hey, get your ass down. Bend your knees. Let's go, man. Get into a more athletic stance.
Yeah. Beto, what do you say? You think Cappy's just ducking you? What's happening there?
Cappy doesn't need help, man. That guy is a finely tuned machine.
Yeah, he's
anybody who can do an Ironman can do anything he wants.
Yeah, he's a Manny Machado out there, basically.
That's a great call right there. He's just going to do what he wants. But Cappy can swing. He can hack, man. Like, don't sleep on him. I predict Cappy goes yard on Friday. As my boy Matt Salas, a strong listener, who Cappy was Bob Beers for, said, Cappy, 3 for 4 RBI. He's going to be MVP.
Yeah, way to go, Matt Salas.
Yeah.
Shout out to him. And I position myself more as like a Mike Schmidt kind of a third baseman, Beto. Yesterday I found myself working on, getting down on a knee and backhanding the ball and then really turning my hips and firing to first. You don't think? No?
Don't do that. No. Don't get on the knee because if you get down, then you can't get back up, man. It's going to hurt.
Yeah. Sure, somebody help me. Somebody help me.
like today, working out with Sedano, we hit him right at him, and he worked a couple backhands, front hands, choppers. But one thing about it, though, Cappy, if the ball is hit too far away from you, don't go for it. Let it be, man. Let it be.
Yeah, that you got to live to play another day, another play.
Yeah.
You know?
Beto, I'm curious to get your evaluation on something. Would you say that George is more impressive on the softball field, first time you've seen him, first time he's played in a long time, or would you say that you were more impressed with him that day that we all played a little bit of pickleball? What would you say was the stronger of the two for our man George Sedano?
Well, it was different because pickleball, none of us have ever done it. Now, the baseball on the field today, George hasn't done anything in 10 years. He had a brand-new glove, man. And when you got a brand-new mitt, you got to break it in. You don't know what's going on.
Right.
But as soon as we got the glove out there, the first couple of tosses, the play catch, I was like, oh, yeah, this guy knows what he's doing. Because, Cappy, you know when somebody plays catch with you the first time, you're like, oh, I got to throw it slow. Nah, George, you can whip it, man.
Yeah.
It's just he hasn't played, but the muscle memory is there for Sedano. He is a
He's really, I mean, his background suggests that he should be a great baseball player. I mean, this is a guy who grew up across the street from Alex Rodriguez. This is a guy who was playing catch in the middle of the street with A-Rod when he's 10 years old.
No, I wasn't.
Oh, you weren't? Did I just make all that up?
You did.
Oh,
we didn't
okay.
even live in the same part of town.
Oh, okay. This is a guy right here in George Sedano who used to drive to another part of town just to play with A-Rod.
Yeah.
Cappy, you're the best.
Yeah.
George knows what he's doing. George can hold it out. He's not going to embarrass himself.
Right.
He saves it in his means.
That was the whole goal, was to make sure that I can go out there and field the ball. You know, I could shuffle left, I can shuffle right. I didn't do too many backhands because what's the point in that? I'm just going to end up hurting myself later trying to toss it across my body. So I did it a couple times just to see if I could at least do it or knock down the ball, which I did. But I'm just anticipating. Shuffle left, shuffle right. Second base is not super hard. You don't have to have a ton of range. That's why I liked playing it, always.
And Cappy, I also hit the balls legit with the wood bat, so he knows what it's going to feel like. I hit it harder. I hit choppers. He was coming at him. He was attacking. He was throwing. He was fielding. He was good, man. I'm not overselling Sedano. He is that solid 10-year vet second baseman that's going to be there. You're like, damn, that guy's been there forever? Like, you know, Kurt Bavacqua. We're going to for your
There you go,
right?
Kurt Bavacqua. That's me.
Is Sedano able to take some hacks, or how come you didn't pitch to him a little bit?
Well, we only had two softballs,
Yeah.
man. I ain't gonna do that.
Yeah, we only had two balls.
Two balls.
Yeah, because the batting cages were closed.
We
man.
thought they'd be
Sedano,
open.
You don't have to worry about them.
Yeah, by the way, I just looked it up. They don't open till noon. Why don't they open till noon?
Because it's
In the
Wednesday and
summer?
they don't think anybody's going to be there.
Summer, bro. People are there.
Yeah, there was plenty of people there, to Beto's point. There was a bunch of kids doing a camp.
Open up,
Cappy,
Jack. Yeah.
Cappy, you know how Sedano always talks about the Lama Mall?
Yeah.
And how it's a spot? Wilson Park in the mornings. Cappy would have been in.
Oh, you would have. There was a bunch of cougars there.
Hot
doing,
moms?
Cougars there doing like a workout together.
Oh, I love that.
It was great.
Yeah,
I love that. I love any place where there's
like
like the hot moms. I like that.
Wilson Park, Cappy, just go down Crenshaw, make a right on Jefferson. You're right there.
Can I go
right
gay?
behind the greens. They're right behind the green spot. They're good.
Yeah, it's not too far from the Green Cross of Torrance. Yeah.
Yeah. Cappy, I will say this, though. Sliwa, undercover, man. He knows what he's doing. For a guy who never really played, he's going to be okay. We hit yesterday at my boy's spot at Legends in Pasadena. Sliwa is the one I was wondering, like, oh, man, is he really going to do it? Is he going to hurt himself? Dude came in, was asking questions. We worked on where to stand, learning how to let the softball fall. That way he's not attacking, not chasing. He took at least like about 70 hacks, figuring things out, was going back and forth. So Sliwa made a couple of adjustments. He was smacking the ball around because I'm not going to lie, the first 20, I was like, oh, man, this guy's going to strike out. But nah, made the adjustments, Cappy, swinging well. Bergman, oh, don't trip. Bergman's going to get a double tomorrow. Guarantee Bergman drives a couple, man. He made the adjustments too.
I do like to hear that because they're both on my team, aren't they? I mean, Bergman is on our team, isn't he? Or is he on your team, George?
No, he's on your team.
All right, good. We need that
team.
because we need a little bit more from Bergie. I mean, last year he kind of let us down a little bit.
What do you mean he let you down?
He did.
Jesus.
He did. He's a good athlete. We need more from him.
What did he do?
Yeah.
What did he not do?
It's what he didn't do, George.
What did he not do?
Well, I mean, he dropped an easy routine fly ball. He didn't have anywhere near.
Where was he playing?
He may have been playing third. He didn't know Mike Schmidt.
He's no Manny Machado like you, Justin Turner.
Justin Turner. That's right.
I'll tell you,
Beto, would you say that
hacks
George
that he
is the
took
answer?
yesterday-
Is George the answer at second for the Dodgers? I mean, based on what you've seen today?
Yeah. Max Muncy, watch out, man.
Yeah. Miguel Vargas, be
I
careful.
just told you. He Sedano, okay. He's not Omar Vizquel, right? But he's he's Joey Cora. How about that for you?
Joey Cora.
Yeah, I'll take Joey Cora. I'd even take Alex Cora.
Yeah. Solid right there.
There you go.
Solid is what he is.
I did try to hot dog a couple. Now I did okay on a couple of the hot dogs. One of them I did not do so well, but it's okay.
I would say I hit at least 100 fungos today, George. The only one he messed up on that he bobbled, which he still would have got the runner out. He bobbled it because he was trying to hot dog.
Yeah,
that was it.
I was trying to hot dog. I was trying to pick it up, flip it up with my glove, and then catch it and throw it.
Oh, what do you play for the Tampa Bay Rays now?
I do, Yandy.
Like Cappy, Bergman's going to swing it. Sliwa was very analytical yesterday. I had to put things into Lakers perspective for him.
Into Lakers perspective.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So I had to do that. I'm like, okay, when you're going to go up and block, you want to wait a little bit. You got to time it. That's exactly what I put in that perspective. But Sliwa yesterday was working on pitching. He must have thrown at least 50 balls, and then he was trying to figure things out. So it was good, man. We had a good setup, good workout yesterday. So I think Team Cappy's going to be all right. You're still going to lose, but you'll be all right.
Oh, man, I hope we don't. I really feel like we need to win this year, Beto, okay, so last year Kirk Morrison hit, I want to say 2 home runs. Could it have been 3? Was it 2 or 3? Let's see, Travis had a home run last year. Matt Burke had a home run. Beto, do you think there'll be more home runs this year? Or do you think like guys like Morrison will come and have their A game like they did last year? What is your prediction on that?
I think it'll be around the same. Here's the thing, though, Cappy. Now that everybody knows what to expect, people have been going to the cages, figuring things out. I kid you not, Cappy, I wouldn't be surprised if Bergman gets a hold of one. After the little tips that we gave him yesterday, he changed things up. And by the way, also, not because Bergman is Bergman, but the social media team did him dirty, man. The hacks that they put up were wrong because I sent them like 4-minute videos of Bergman swinging, and they didn't post the good ones. Like, they did him wrong.
Who are you calling out on that? You calling out Carlo? You calling out Josh? I mean, who are you calling out on this? Who from the social media
who edited
team?
But everybody, whoever edited did it wrong because Bergman deserves more credit for that, man. He took some.
Bergman has what I call nice little in Cubans say tiene buena pinta. Like
right, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like he looks the part.
That's what I was saying. That's why we need more out of him. By the way, Morales has chimed in. Kirk hit 3 last year, and Travis hit 2.
Right, and remember, Bergman did this after un chichong on his head. So
yes.
What happened there?
Bergman's because he hit his head yesterday trying to fix Mason's computer. But Bergman, I told yesterday, has to go buy batting gloves.
Yeah.
He and Sliwa are going to go buy batting gloves. So I think there's going to be more homers this year because guys are like legit practicing, man. And Cappy, you better go yard, man. Do not oversell and underdeliver in this game.
Yeah.
Beto, I'm planning on going yard, righty and lefty.
Oh, Jesus, here we go.
Easy.
I'm going to go gay.
Here we go. that was completely out of context, and Beto's like, "Why is that there?"
Yeah,
because we had we were doing Game of Games, and Ramona was asking us who finished third to Usain Bolt of Team USA in the 2012 Olympics, and it was either Justin Gatlin or Tyson Gay, and then Cappy said,
"I'm going to go gay."
Yeah,
all right, that's what I said.
Just so you know why that's there. Yes.
Sure.
So anywho, Beto, real quick before I let you go, did you watch any of the All-Star game or no?
Yeah, those uniforms suck, man.
You're that guy you're going to complain about? I thought they were great because they're Mariners colors.
No. They look good for batting practice, not during the game. I mean, I'm not trying to be that guy, but I am going to be that guy. Wear your uniforms, your own team uniform. That's why baseball is so cool that you have that classic look right there, man.
You know, but they're all about selling stuff. They're all about selling everything they can.
I was totally fine with them. I particularly liked the teal one was the American League, right? The teal one.
So I think
the National League was the dark team.
Yeah,
right?
they were the dark blue, right? So they were Mariners colors. I liked them. I thought they were nice. Yeah. You know what I took away from that? And I say this, and this is tough for me to say. Derek Jeter seemed completely
I saw your tweet.
He seemed completely disinterested in being there. I don't know if he's going to be good or not. I don't want to judge him on very few attempts, but bro, at least act like you're happy to be there.
But at the same time, George, anybody who's ever interviewed Jeter knew this wasn't going to work.
Right, he's boring. I mean, he's just generally he's always been a boring guy.
Well, look, I've been very critical of the ESPN documentary that we did. Like I said, outside of the first episode, none of those other episodes were good. The first episode was incredible. If the whole documentary was the first episode, I'd say one of the best documentaries we've ever done. But the other episodes were just like, oh, I don't know. I've already seen this. I lived it watching the Yankees play.
You know what? I just think it's funny because I watch a lot of the post-game stuff, and I thought Jeter was pretty good. He was totally solid, I thought, on the desk, especially talking to players. Nothing spectacular, but pretty good. And they've got a really great crew.
No, but I'm
of
talking
guys.
about in-game. In-game, it's A-Rod and him and Kevin Burkhardt and Big Papi. And, Papi and A-Rod have a fun chemistry, right? Like, they go back and forth. They banter. Kevin Burkhardt is, like, the perfect host. He's like their Ernie Johnson. Like, that's what he is. He's excellent at that. Not to mention that he's excellent at play-by-play. I just felt like Jeter stuck out like a sore thumb, like he had no interest in being there.
Yeah, I don't know about the no interest, but, I mean, come on. You put a new guy in. And by the way, it's like the same thorn in A-Rod's side from when he was playing with the Yankees. Now you've just put him into the broadcast booth. I mean, it's got to be a total adjustment period. I don't care how well those guys know each other off the field, or back in their playing days.
I would have just gone with Papi and A-Rod. Like, I don't think you need Jeter there to be honest.
Well, they are definitely forcing him in, that's for sure.
Yeah, Papi and A-Rod have like a legit fun chemistry. And Burkhardt is great. I just don't think you need Jeter. I'm with you, Captain.
Not at all.
Well, I'm not willing to give up on Jeter yet. I just
Why?
find A-Rod.
What are you trying to get out of him?
Well, I mean, it's just like I find A-Rod.
Oh, I know. You want him to buy sided?
No, I don't think I want him to buy it.
Investor?
But an investor would be nice.
There you go.
Investor would be good.
See, I know what you're up to.
But you see, listen, I also would say the same thing about A-Rod. I just find A-Rod, like after the game, he's doing these interviews and his questions. It's like, did somebody write them for him?
Yes. Kepi. Yes.
Well, I don't know that to be the case, but I just feel like, to me, I'm all about the feel of the show. And I felt like the show was the closest thing that they did, right? Burkhardt and Papi and A-Rod, and last year was Frank Thomas or whatever, or previously was Frank Thomas. To me, it was the closest thing we had to Barkley and Ernie and Kenny and Shaq. That, and also College Game Day has that feel too, right? Where those guys just, they can finish each other's sentences. And just throwing in Jeter, he just, forget about what he's saying. Like of course his analysis is going to be fine. Even though it's not, out of this world, I would say. But I would say very few analysts would make me feel that way in general. I just feel like he looks like he's miserable up there.
Y'all not feeling that, huh?
Right, I'm not.
I love it when Pedro Martinez is there, man. Pedro.
Oh, I love Pedro Martinez on TBS. I love him. Pedro.
That's what you need right there.
Pedro Martinez does not mince words at all. Yes, I love Pedro Martinez on TBS.
All right, well, good job today, Coach Beto. I'm sorry that I haven't had a chance to work out with you, man, but...
Cappy, baby.
Yeah.
Papi, you don't need it. As Edwin Encarnacion once told me, today, Papi, I'm not ready. Tomorrow, I'll be ready. Yeah. Cappy, you stay ready, baby.
Today, I was not ready.
Beto,
Tomorrow, I'd be ready.
I found a cage in Torrance open till 10 if you want to go later.
Oh, for real?
Mm-hmm.
All right, yeah, text me. I'm soccer dad right now. Once I get done, I'll go.
All right, I'll let you know.
All right, I got field work tonight myself.
Yeah. Hey, tell them about East Central, Cap, because we're way over the break.
I would love to. Hey, East Central Hotel is right across the street from where we broadcast from here at LA Live. So if you're planning on going to a show over at Crypto, or you're just coming into downtown and you need the place to stay because you're like, hey, we're going to go out, we're going to have fun, East Central is the spot. They've got the biggest hotel rooms of all the hotels in downtown LA. That's not just some claim. I mean, the average hotel room size in downtown LA, East Central is like twice as big. So it's very, very comfortable. The gym is brand new and it's awesome. The restaurant bar, Nixo, you can see it right there on Figueroa. So you're above it because you're one block or you're one floor above the street. So you get the feel and the vibe of the streets, but you're above all of it. So it's so much fun. It's such a great place. I'm telling you right now, I'll be there on Friday night. I'll be there next week. It's my LA downtown crib. eastcentralhotel.com. By the way, that website is so easy. Anybody can book a room on that website, even me. eastcentralhotel.com. East Central Hotel in downtown Los Angeles, entertainment's official address.
So, Cappy, thanks to Beto for joining us there. We're just going to keep going because we might as well finish the segment and just do 6 or 7 more minutes here. By the way, don't miss All-Star Friday night, as you heard us talking about it this Friday at the West Covina Sportsplex. Party. Hang out. Live broadcast. Begins at 10 a.m., goes all the way through the day. Team Mace versus Team Sliwa battle at 7 o'clock. All-Star Friday night presented by Rotolo Chevrolet and Capozio Buick GMC. Come visit Rotolo Chevrolet and Capozio Buick GMC and see what all the fun is about.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So, I watched almost the entire game yesterday. I like watching the baseball All-Star game. I don't know about you, but I like watching it. And when they were in the stands, okay, because remember, Joe Davis and John Smoltz are doing the game. So they threw it for like an inning, it felt like, to those guys I mentioned. And, Poppy and A-Rod and Burkhardt are laughing, doing their thing. And Jeter's just kind of sitting there. And I'm like, bro, can you have some fun? It's a baseball game.
I know, but I think no matter how much Derek Jeter was in the public spotlight and in the media.
Oh, he hated it.
Right, but listen, he wasn't playing his career in Kansas City or Tampa Bay. He played it in New York. He was the captain for the Yankees. So you would think that just by virtue of the number of microphones that were in this guy's face over the course of his career, he would be a very comfortable, natural guy. The fact of the matter is this. Fox hired Derek Jeter because he's Derek Jeter. The same reason that Fox hired Tom Brady, because he's Tom Brady. They don't know for sure if he's going to be any good. CBS had a sense that Tony Romo
and I'll tell you this.
I've
made a big bet to tell you that I don't think Tom Brady is going to be that good.
Well, look, there have been other great players. See Joe Montana.
Oh, Joe Montana. Brutal.
See Dan Marino.
Not good.
See Jim Kelly.
Yeah.
These are all guys that were Hall of Fame players that know the game like the back of their hand. See Drew Brees, that just did not convert to television. Derek Jeter, as great as he was, as many championships as he won, and who he played for, doesn't guarantee that he's going to be a great television personality.
Yeah, that was all right. I just want you to show like you like being there. Like, you know what I mean? Just smile a little bit, bro.
I'll tell you one thing I do like, though, about these All-Star games, and I don't sit around and watch the full broadcast like you did, but I will say that there are times during the broadcast where they do some stuff that is so cool. Example.
Oh, no. Listen, Fox's coverage of the game was excellent.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm nitpicking is I felt like Derek Jeter didn't look like he wanted to be there.
But they do some things like this. Did you notice, and I love this, they've got a pitcher mic'd, and they're interviewing him while he's pitching.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's great. I think every sport should take notice of what Fox and Major League Baseball did yesterday.
Now, let me ask you something. You're the batter. You're looking at this pitcher. He's wearing a microphone.
Mm-hmm.
He's playing with the earpiece.
Mm-hmm.
This mofo is on TV being interviewed right now while he's pitching to me.
Mm-hmm.
Hello? Hello? What is it? Is this normal? You're going to throw 95 miles an hour at me while you're in the middle of an interview? I don't know, man. It seemed a little distracting, maybe borderline dangerous. Or maybe I'm just getting old. I don't know. I'm not sure.
I mean, you're also getting old.
I mean, come on. But that is cool. To see a pitcher, I mean, it's one thing when it's an outfielder.
Yeah.
But a pitcher in the middle of a pitch.
I mean, I'm talking to Rico Petrocelli here, so I mean, you would know,
Well, I mean, I said earlier today, that I'm more of a Mike Schmidt character, but if I really think historically and great left-handed hitting third baseman, who's another good comparison for me, George?
Who's that?
Eddie Matthews, a good one.
Yeah.
I mean, Chipper Jones is very contemporary, and I understand the left-handed bat and all, but Eddie Matthews, old school.
Yeah. How about the Todd father, Todd Frazier?
No, I don't think my game compares. Maybe like Edgar Martinez, but again, lefty.
I'm just going to randomly name drop third baseman all day.
So am I. I'm doing the same thing. I got a list in front of me here of about 500 guys.
Edgar Martinez, played DH, did play third base early in his career. That's true.
Yeah, I mean, he's considered a top 10 third baseman of all time. Believe it or not. Yeah. 5 Silver Sluggers.
Well, because
7-time All-Star.
as a hitter, right? As a hitter, yeah. I mean, he's fine, I believe, defensively. Was he a great defensive player? I don't remember him being a great defensive player.
Yeah, he's really considered more of a DH than he was a third baseman.
Right.
But that's kind of my deal too. Is I'm really more of an offensive player.
I see. All right, that's excellent.
Thank you.
So, Cappy, real quick. So the Lakers.
Tell me.
You seem to believe that people took umbrage, I guess, with you. No, I did when you mentioned LeBron coaching the Lakers yesterday for whatever reason. I don't know where you got that from.
I made it up. Who took umbrage?
I mean, you got in the rundown here. Why is LeBron being a coach such a silly concept?
Right. Why is it such a silly concept?
I just don't see him wanting to do that.
And tell me why you don't see that.
Because it's kind of a thankless job.
Right. But I think the reason we don't think of guys like LeBron James ever coaching in the NBA is because he's so famous and he's such a star and he's got movies and television productions and he's a billionaire that why would a guy like LeBron ever want to be a coach? Peyton Manning didn't become a coach. Troy Aikman didn't become a coach. These are guys that are Hall of Fame players that they don't go into coaching. One goes into broadcasting at $20 million a year. The other guy's into television production in Peyton Manning. The guys talk about ownership. Michael Jordan became an owner, never became a coach. But I'm just here to tell you, LeBron is different, in my opinion, based on what I've seen of LeBron coaching his son. And if LeBron really wants to play with his son, that may or may not happen. But I'll tell you this, he got a better chance of coaching his son.
No.
Yeah.
No, I don't think he wants to coach in the NBA.
I think that we all assume that you're right, and that superstar players never become coaches.
Was this like a pot thought, or like why? Where did you just grab this from the just grab it from the sky? I don't know.
I watched LeBron coach his younger son.
Bryce
at that peach
at
jam.
the Rondo thing. Yeah,
right. I watched him coach, and I said to myself, "That's a guy who not just loves the game as a player, he loves passing it on." He loves being in the middle of it all. He likes barking at referees. He likes shaking hands with the other team. He's just a regular guy in basketball.
Right, but it's different coaching your son at an event like that, and doing that stuff than being the guy who's got to coach 82 games plus the playoffs. That's just
I agree.
I don't see that at all.
I agree. But what if I told you?
What if you told me on the other side?
Okay, but just I'm writing this down.
Okay, write it down, whatever you're going to say.
What if I told you?
What if you told me and then ...
Right.
It's like, you're like a 30 for 30, like a living, breathing 30 for 30.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. We'll do that on the other side. Plus, I'll tell you what I've heard about the Lakers trying to support Anthony Davis on this roster. We'll get to that coming up. Stick around. 2 more hours to go. 710 ESPN.
All right, hey, make sure you get yourself out to the West Covina Sportsplex coming up on July 14th. It is our All-Star Friday night. Team Mason and Team Travis. I'm on Mason's team for the second year in a row. We're looking to go back-to-back. I'm looking to hit another home run. I'm looking to beat Slee's team for the second year in a row. We're going to have a great time. Come on out. Celebrate with us. You'll have a great time. You'll see some very bad softball. You're going to laugh. You'll have a ball. Come on out. All-Star Friday night, West Covina Sportsplex on July 14th.
ESPN. Sedano and Kap for your afternoon right now on 710 ESPN.
It's time for what you need to know.
Let's do it. What you need to know right now.
What you need to know is brought to you by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Good times, less than 90 minutes from wherever you are. Sedano and Scott Rowland here with you. What do you got, Linz?
I was thinking more Juan Uribe, but that's just me.
Okay.
Juan Uribe. That's a good throwback.
Thank you.
Well, did you know that tomorrow is National French Fry Day?
Ooh.
It is, and McDonald's is celebrating tomorrow, July 13th, by giving away free fries. All you have to do is order the fries via the McDonald's app, any size you want, no restrictions on that, and then you head to any participating location to pick up your order. No purchase is necessary, and the offer is valid one time only, again, just tomorrow, and you got to order them through the app.
McDonald's fries are great when you get them hot. I mean, they're
so
delicious
good.
when you get them hot.
I think they're the best.
Yeah.
They're my favorite fast food fries.
I haven't had them in a really long time. I read that article where McDonald's canceled 3 items. Did you guys read about this?
No.
McDonald's canceled their McCafe menus. So the apple fritter, the blueberry muffin, and then some kind of like cinnamon bun or something or other.
I thought you meant the
that's
drinks.
fine.
Good
Whatever.
riddance.
I know. Who
Nobody
cares?
eats those.
What was the last one?
I don't know.
The
some
cinnamon
kind of-
roll. So it's
yeah.
like the apple
Oh.
fritter, the blueberry something, and the cinnamon
I don't
roll.
need it. I never ordered any of those.
No,
Me
me
neither.
neither.
You wanna
Like,
know
if you-
why?
The real McDonald's.
You want to know why, Cappy?
Tell me why.
Because they recently started a pilot program where they're partnering with Krispy Kreme. So they're going to
really?
sell Krispy Kreme
Donuts, yeah.
And that's
Did not know
probably
that.
why
Well, because
phased
they
that
also
stuff
used
out.
to sell donuts too. They're the little balls that are connected all together. What is that called? There's like
Little
donut hole?
connected balls.
Yeah.
no,
balls
no,
are
no.
connected.
They were like, God, somebody makes donuts like that where they're like little.
Like Dunkin' Donuts?
No, they're like little, like small little like donut. They look like donut holes, but they're all connected in a circle, basically.
Little balls that are connected in a circle of donuts.
Correct. To make one big donut. And they weren't great.
Crullers? No.
No, I don't know what they're called. Anyway.
I know it's gonna
but
bother
they
me
weren't
It
great.
was like a pull-apart thing, right?
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
I'm looking at it right now.
And they weren't great, and that's why they had to go with Krispy Kreme. They had to.
Yeah, I mean, if McDonald's canceled Big Macs, Quarter Pounders with cheese, and double cheeseburgers, we'd have problems on our hands here. But canceling the blueberry muffin that nobody ever got, what's it really matter? Now, I want to just say one thing about all this free giveaway fries and everything. So I don't know. I don't really ever know what day it is. I don't really ever know the date, you know. Today, I thought it was 7-Eleven, and I thought I was going to 7-Eleven to get a Slurpee today. Turns out I show up, and I'm like, yo, I'm getting a Slurpee. And they're like, yeah, it was yesterday.
Oh, man, if we would have had what you need to know yesterday, I would have made it that one.
Jeez, man.
It's 7-Eleven, bruh.
I know, bro, but I thought it was today. I thought today
mean-
was 7-Eleven.
And it was
talk-
7:10 2 days ago.
You were talking about everyone wishing you happy 7/10, so you'd think you'd register that, you know?
No, I know, but I didn't know what day it was. I didn't know what time it was.
I
you
mean,
know?
Okay.
listen, Cap, I get it because I don't know what days I live in
Yeah, I
sometimes.
never do.
Pero 7:10 is like 7:10, and then
Right.
7-Eleven, you know, you just some stick out.
Right.
Just saying, Cap.
Beto, I went to 7-Eleven. It wasn't 7-Eleven.
Clearly,
Right.
and you had to pay your 98 cents.
That's right. I didn't really want it anyway.
That's like everybody with Amazon Prime. They don't need any of the stuff they're buying, but it's on sale.
Yeah, I was Amazon priming earlier today. I was.
What'd you get?
Well, my daughter is getting ready to go back to college here pretty soon,
Yeah.
and she's telling me all the things she needs for her dorm room. An air fryer. I'm like, really?
An air fryer for her dorm room?
I'm like, you need an air fryer for your dorm room? Really? She's like, yeah, and a burner. I go, burner for what? So I can make pasta.
Like one burner, right?
Yeah. Like, so
Well,
I can
you know,
make-
it's funny. Mookie Betts travels that way. But Lindsay told us in a What You Need to Know not that long ago.
Yeah, with a little hot plate.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Just an update here for you. in the 28th minute. Wait a second. Do we have an offsides call? Panama scored on the USA. But wait. They're calling it off. They're saying that the Panamanian player was offsides.
There you go. So still tied at 0-0?
That's correct.
Yeah. All right. That is
way offsides.
What you need to know, brought to you by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Good times, less than 90 minutes from wherever you are. So, Cappy, you said, what if I told you, ... you were creating your own 30 for 30. We were talking about LeBron wanting to coach for some reason because you've got this bug up your booty. So let's talk it out. Let's go.
Well, what if I told you that the biggest party of the summer is coming up Friday at the West Covina Sports Complex? Would you believe me?
I mean, I would believe that.
Right. It's going to be an all-day party for All-Star Friday night. Food, drinks, games, giveaways, and more. Starting at 10 a.m. All-Star Friday night, made possible by Simply Spiked Lemonade, and now Peach. Summer is officially getting juicy. So, George, here's the thing. What if I told you that LeBron James is really consumed with being with his kids on the basketball floor of an NBA team? But what if LeBron comes to a realization that I don't really feel like I can play as well as I used to, and I don't really want to play anymore? So you know what, though? I could coach. I just feel like when I watch LeBron James coaching his kids on video, I don't see a guy who's just like happily coaching because he can. I see a guy who maybe could really, really be a coach of a team. And if he really wants to play with Bronny, and who knows, maybe he really wants to eventually be on the floor with Bryce, why can't he go into coaching? Because, I mean, can you think, tell me this, who's the biggest star player? I'm talking star, made big money, etc., who went into coaching that you can think of? Can you come up with any superstar names?
In the NBA?
In any sport, really.
Well, Larry Bird.
Okay, Larry Bird's a good call.
And he got to the finals against
Larry
the
Bird's,
Lakers.
Larry Bird's a very good call. Yeah. Very good. Can you think of any, like, quarterbacks that weren't, like, career backups? You know? Like,
Not
career
really.
backup quarterbacks, Frank Reich, Doug Peterson, they become NFL head coaches, right?
Yeah.
But Jim Kelly and Dan Marino don't.
No.
So we don't think that LeBron James would ever do it because of what you said, the grind, it's 82
well,
games.
Well, and also LeBron's aspirations are to be part owner of the Las Vegas team whenever that goes online.
Right. So I think what he's going to do is own the team and coach the team.
I mean, I guess. I don't see that.
Okay, well, it's just a theory, that's all. Or maybe LeBron does play with Bronny, and maybe he does play with his younger son as well.
Well, I don't think he's playing with Bryce.
Well, wait a second. Hold on. What if I told you that LeBron could play till he's 50?
Well, you're like you and Kendrick Perkins believe that.
I mean, I did see Perk today on NBA Today saying he thinks LeBron could play till he's 50.
LeBron actually could play until he's 50 because if LeBron could buy into the Udonis Haslam role, where he's actually on the bench being a veteran leader, you don't think no team will want him and say, you know what, here, bro, we'll play you the vet minimum, which I believe is like $2.4, $2.5 million to be on our bench.
That's why he doesn't play till he's 50. You know why, George? Because he'll make $15 million a year coaching, not $2 million at the end of a bench.
Right. Well, by the time 10 years from now, his vet minimum will probably be more like $6 million. But nonetheless, it was. Here's what he's not going to coach. He's going to be an owner. It's going to be him. It's going to be the Liverpool group. It's going to be Tom Brady. It's going to be the Raiders owner, Mark Davis. It's going to be, the Tim Lewicki guy who builds all the stuff in Vegas. Like, it's going to be all those guys. And he's going to be part of that group.
I don't doubt that one
I don't
bit.
think he's going to want to coach it.
I don't know, man.
Okay.
I see him differently than I see other guys.
Okay. Maybe
like
you're right, Cappy.
Well, like Peyton Manning, for example, right? Like Peyton Manning has the Manning Passing Academy, right?
Yeah.
So Peyton Manning, Eli Manning, Archie Manning,
yeah,
they
LeBron
all go out,
has one of those camps too, a Nike camp.
Yeah, and they go out and they coach.
Right? But that's it. It's just for that week or whatever.
Right. All I'm saying is I'm an observer.
You're an observer.
That's all I am.
You are.
I'm an outside observer.
You are definitely that.
I'm watching video on Twitter of LeBron coaching, and I see a guy who could maybe coach. Should he want to, he could coach in the NBA. And if he had the opportunity to coach his sons in the NBA, it'd just be like the AAU. It's just that it's the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Does everybody think I'm nuts, or does anybody out there, do I have one person out there that will say, it's not a bad concept? Or am I completely out of my mind?
I think you're completely out of
Wait,
your
what
mind.
time is it? Oh, gosh darn it. It's 5:09.
Rob's out. Yeah.
Rob Pelinka's not listening right now because he would have a strong opinion on this.
No, not really.
Oh, all right. Just my concept, George. That's all.
Okay.
Now, you were saying that the Lakers were going to help Anthony Davis a little bit, and I perked up. See what I did there?
Mm-hmm.
So I want to know what you're talking about.
Well, I think, Rob, when I talked to Rob the other day, and I'm guessing, I believe I haven't kept up on everything while I've been back. So I know he's had a lot of different conversations with a lot of different people in the media, and I'm assuming he's told people that they're looking for a stretch five to back up Anthony Davis. And that seems to me, if you're going to find a stretch five at the minimum.
Yeah, what's available?
I mean, I'm guessing Christian Wood, although he would have to be willing to take the minimum, which he hasn't been in the past, but maybe that's all that's available to him at this point. And but here's what I would say.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good offensive player, but he is not a good defensive player by any stretch of the imagination.
Mm-hmm. Well, are you saying that you think that the Lakers are looking to put another big man on the floor with him, or are you looking for just somebody that can spell him? Because, I mean, what do you think about this Jackson Hayes? I mean, are they going to get anything out of this guy?
He's like a vertical spacer, weak side block guy, like, big hops, right? Like, he's not someone I would depend on a regular basis.
Who did I see just the other day suggested that the Lakers, who need another big body, somebody suggested they go back and get Dwight Howard. Now, is Dwight Howard 50 yet?
Dwight Howard's not 50, no. Dwight Howard is younger than LeBron, I believe.
It was Perk also who said that.
Yeah.
Oh, Perk.
Yeah.
I mean, we got the summer of Perk right now, and Perk is he's just spitting takes.
Wow, I love it.
Yeah.
I love that.
Dwight Howard's 37 years old. I mean, he was just playing in, I believe, Taiwan or the Philippines or somewhere recently, and I'm not trying to demean that league, but it's certainly not the NBA.
Yeah, but listen, I think Dwight Howard, I think a lot of people would also scout him and say he's a vertical spacer. And when you vertically space, that can, add a lot of value to a ball club like the Lakers, I think. That's just my opinion.
Right, but you've already got a young guy who can do that.
I know, but I like vertical spacing.
Right. Jackson Hayes does that. He's a vertical spacer.
I like horizontal spacing as well.
Horizontal spacing would be more the Christian Wood type.
Yeah. So I'm thinking about
because
all kinds of
horizontal would mean that he would stretch the floor from the basket to the three-point line. Vertical is going up and down.
Right. Side to side, if you will.
You know who else he advocated for, Perk, that is?
Who dat?
Friend of show, Tristan Thompson.
I mean, you can get Tristan Thompson much later in the game.
That
you don't need to bring that. You don't need to bring that up at the moment. And I love Tristan. That's my guy. But you know what I mean? I think you can wait on Tristan Thompson is kind of my point.
Yeah. Well, it just seems like what the Lakers have done so far, everybody seems to be really, really excited about it, including LeBron.
Yeah.
But the one thing that they have not done yet is they have not figured out when Anthony Davis is not on the floor, we got to have somebody who's got some size and some bulk. You know what I'm saying? We got to have somebody out there that can enforce.
Right.
And they don't have that yet.
Well, speaking of enforcing, apparently Britney Spears out there enforcing on fools on social media.
That's
and
right.
Cappy, I think she may be talking about you.
I mean, it doesn't surprise me that Britney Spears would be listening to our show. I mean,
Okay,
everybody does.
Let's hear what Britney had to say, because I don't recall if I said anything like this, but I think you may have. So I think she may be talking about this show in her latest social media post. We'll get to that. Plus, Clinton Yates is going to join us from the red carpet at the ESPYs. All that coming up next.
The battle for playoff position is on for LAFC.
Crosses in the middle, Baylor, goal! Ball don't lie!
And coming to downtown LA for the first time is first place St. Louis City.
Oh, boy, another shot, goal!
It's the reigning MLS Cup champs facing the top team in the West. Pre-game of LAFC and St. Louis City starts tonight at 7 p.m. on 710 ESPN and the ESPN LA app.
All right, hey, make sure you get yourself out to the West Covina Sportsplex coming up on July 14th. It is our All-Star Friday night. Team Mason and Team Travis. I'm on Mason's team for the second year in a row. We're looking to go back-to-back. I'm looking to hit another home run. I'm looking to beat Slee's team for the second year in a row. We're going to have a great time. Come on out, celebrate with us. You'll have a great time. You'll see some very bad softball. You're going to laugh. You'll have a ball. Come on out. All-Star Friday night, West Covina Sportsplex on July 14th.
Your Wednesday afternoon? Yes, Hollywood, site of tonight. The 2023 ESPYs underway right now on ESPN television. Meanwhile, you know the big CY. Everybody's favorite radio star, Clinton Yates, has been on the red carpet, interviewing the stars, pressing the flesh. And Clinton on the red carpet, made possible by our friends at Simply Spiked Lemonade, and now Peach, because summer is officially getting juicy. We're gonna head to the red carpet. I think he's still on there. Time for Clinton Yates to join Sedano and Kap your Wednesday afternoon right now.
Yeah! Sedano and Kap, more like Sedano and Ken Caminetti, here on 710 ESPN.
I would say more like Sedano and Buddy Bell, I would say, going old school.
Buddy Bell?
You know?
Okay. How about Edgardo Alfonso?
About Nolan Arenado, so that I could be in business.
mentioned that earlier. I mean, you said you were going to scoop everything up. I mentioned Nolan Arenado earlier. So
Nolan Arenado, in business with Clay Thompson and their wine company. So I figure now that me and Clay are BFFs.
Yeah, I heard conflicting reports that you're BFFs.
What kind of conflicting reports?
We could get to that later.
All right.
Yeah. Let's get Clinton Yates on the phone, who is at I believe the Dolby Theater where the ESPYs are taking place at the moment. Clinton Yates. Do you believe that Cappy is more Ken Caminetti, or do you believe he's more Nolan Arenado potentially at third base?
Way more Nolan Arenado, mainly because Ken Caminetti was, respectfully, rest in peace, a total meathead. I feel like Scott is a little bit more aware about his body and his health situation, and Arenado is like a better athlete, even though Ken Caminetti really could mash and had a cannon for a right arm.
Clinton, I would really appreciate it if you would just go on to the ESPN Los Angeles social, take a look at my first workout since last year's softball game, and coach me up a little bit.
I saw a little bit of that. It did not look great. It seems that you guys have not been spending enough time in the cage. I also saw Greg Bergman getting a couple cuts in, Corporate Greg getting it done. So I'm looking forward to Friday for sure, playing a little shortstop, getting the glove moving, and finally get to make some throws. After last year, I played first base.
All right, Big CY, the ESPY's happening today. And, I was going to go. But, then the radio show got in the way. Seems to be getting in the way of a lot of things. By the way, are you available on Friday the 28th to co-host the show?
Is this what we're doing now, scheduling the show on the show?
Right, because we have to do show business on the air to get stuff done. Anyway.
I am not available that day. I will be at a buddy's wedding somewhere in the Ozarks, but okay. I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. Crypto buddy. Ray's going to host by himself then, I guess. But Clinton, I was going to come down to the ESPYs, and just the radio show's going on. So me and George have things to do here. But give us set the scene. What's going on?
Well, let me ask you this. If you've never been to the Dolby Theater, so last year it was very different than this year. The Dolby Theater is basically inside of a mall. And last year they had the setup where the red carpet was in the sort of walkway part underneath a roof. This year, not the case. It was right there on Hollywood Boulevard, which meant it was 100% 100 degrees out here the entire time. And I only say that, not in terms of any complaints from me. I'm wearing shorts and a nice linen blazer and a T-shirt. But for some of these ladies who are walking around dolled up with the lovely dresses and the shoes, and they've got to do the step and repeats and the interviews and stuff, I'm like, man, this must be brutal on all of the things. So point is, conditions were a factor. But there were some stars in the building. Just off the top of my head, saw 2 Chainz, saw Brent Faiyaz, Chris Paul was there. We talked to Ego Nwodim from SNL. We also talked to your boy Meta World Peace, George, and a couple other people. But it's fun, man. The thing about the ESPYs is that, or rather, the thing about working the red carpet, Scott, is that it is a scramble and a half. I don't know if have you ever done that, Scott? Have you ever worked the red carpet for a big event?
Sir. No. Mm-mm.
It is a situation where basically you're grabbing people, you're yelling at people, you're yelling names, and ESPN and seeing if they ignore you, which happens. KCP, shout out to you for not even saying anything as he walked by. But he's got 2 rings now, so he can do that. But it's basically kind of a crapshoot, which is what makes it fun, is who's going to actually give you their time, who's going to talk to you. And so that's what the fun part is, you know. I was out there with Carlo and Amani, so I think we got enough done. It was a good job. And I'm not in the award show, but I will be going to the after party. That is a lot.
Well, I mean, ESPYs or Mandy's? What was the harder role there on the red carpet for you?
Good question. Excellent question.
Definitely this one, simply because I had a lot more work to do yelling at people. You know, the Mandy's are always fun. You get to gather with friends. This is just me yelling at people that are 1,000 times more famous than I or you or anybody here will ever be. But let me tell you what the big news of the red carpet was, gang.
Okay.
Our friend Mina Kimes is pregnant, and she made her big reveal at the ESPYs. Some of us knew who were friends of hers, but the fact that she walked out there, she looked great, and people were just like, oh, my God, I did not know. So that was a fun part, a family moment for the ESPYs, for the ESPN people.
What did she reveal, that she's pregnant, or she reveal what she's having?
No, she revealed that she's pregnant. Most people did not know that. And, Mina, you know, she's obviously America's sweetheart, so it was a fun moment for everybody who was like, oh, my God, and screaming, and she, you know, got to tell everybody the great news.
Well, congratulations to our friend Mina. So,
Mazel tov, girl. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, pretty cool.
So, anywho, let me ask you this. You think Cappy's more Scott Spezio or Troy Gloss? What do you think there?
Ooh, that's a good one. Troy Gloss's game was underrated, but nobody even really knows who Scott Spezio is. Where are these comparisons coming from, if I may ask?
The Circle of Trust.
On the socials?
Circle of Trust. Yeah.
Well, that,
okay.
and I
how about Tim Wallach, then?
Tim Wallach. Who do you think you are, Scott,
well,
is the question that I need to know the answer to.
I said I patterned my game after Mike Schmidt, who is generally regarded as the greatest third baseman in baseball history, but there's a lot of people comparing me to, like, you know, like what happens if Robin Ventura and Evan Longoria get together? I'm that third baseman. You see what I'm saying?
You think you have the bat-to-ball skills of a Longo and Robbie V? Robbie V had the longest hitting streak in college baseball history, and Evan Longoria is still smacking balls anytime he gets up to the plate. No, I'm joking. I think you are more of a Scott Rowland type. That is the person that I think of when I think of you. Not just because his name is Scott, but because of sort of a more upright type of a player. I don't know who you pattern your game after.
Well, he was definitely upright. So Ramona was criticizing says his butt wasn't low enough when fielding at third. So Scott Rowland actually not a bad comparison.
And I wouldn't have known that had I not shot video last night and studied film. And then tonight I'm going back out on the field for round 2 of practice, and let's see if there's any drastic improvement.
Well, I know that reflexes are a factor. We learned that last year in warm-ups, and you decided you wanted to bust your shin up. That's the most important thing here, is knocking the ball down and not getting your teeth knocked out. Have you done any reflex drills, Scott? You know, where you have like the different lights and you got to match the colors to make sure that your hands can move as fast as your eyes. How is that going for you?
I've been working with a trainer where he's got me on, like, standing on one foot on Bosu balls, then and blindfolded, and I have to, like, catch the ball coming at me, but I can't see it. So I've been trying to work on reflexes. It's something that I'm cognizant of, Coach. Thank you.
Most importantly, though, Sedano, how do you feel? Like I have not seen you out on the field yet, so I'm interested in your game.
So I had not been on a softball field or a baseball field, for that matter, competitively in 10 years. So Beto and I went out there. I'm not really worried about making contact with the ball. You know what I mean? Like, that's really not where my I was more worried, can I get to the balls? Even though second base, you don't need a ton of range. Can I get there?
No.
So Beto and I started slow, and then he started hitting it, started chopping it at me, and I was getting where I needed to get to. The only time he brought this up earlier, the only time I really fumbled the ball was there was the one time I tried to hot dog it a little bit. I tried to catch it in the glove, then flip it up off the glove into my hand while I was, kind of fading the other way to like sidearm it to first. So I got a little wandy there, but unfortunately,
I was going to say
it didn't work out.
You tried to wander Franco it. The thing that's fun about playing second base is that you get to do what coaches call you get to do your little dance because you got way more time, so you can get your footwork right.
A little
You
shuffle.
can hot dog it after you pick it up. Exactly.
Shuffle left, shuffle right. I mean, that's really all you got to do. I'm not going to try to backhand very many of them because honestly, at 45 years old, I'm not trying to do that. You know what I mean? Like, just the reality of what we're going to do. Now, if I think I can get it, I'll do it. But I subscribe to live to fight for another play. You know what I mean?
Correct. And you also do not want to run head first into the man known as Travis Rogers at first base, both of you ranging in the same direction. That's not what you want to do either. So be cognizant of that. I do have an update, though.
Yeah.
I do have an update, though, which is, do you remember Kip Rutto last year, Scott Kaplan, who brought the personalized bats from his factory? There will be more this year. They will not be personalized specifically because names have changed and production schedules have changed, but there will be bats, and they look gorgeous.
Okay.
I've seen them. They are lovely. I ran into Kip in Seattle at the All-Star game. He's doing great for everybody that asked. The Batman, as some of you were calling him last year. So that is going to be fun, and I will have some of those, hopefully, by the time I get there.
And unlike Cappy, I'm not trying to be, Nolan Arenado. I don't think I'm going to be Robbie Alomar at second base, but I don't think I will embarrass myself, basically.
I am starting to feel like because of the extra couple of LBs I'm holding on to, I'm starting to compare very much to like a Pablo Sandoval.
The Panda?
Kung Fu Panda.
The Panda.
Yeah.
The Panda.
Yeah, I mean, that Sandoval, though. Sandoval is a guy, though, I mean, one of the greater nicknames in the history of Major League Baseball, as far as I'm concerned. When you have a nickname that's named after something that's an actual thing with its own brand, that's excellent cohesion in terms of, image. I love Kung Fu Panda as a movie in general.
So,
I think Kung Fu Panda go ahead.
Crash Override, the Sedano Kap Circle of Trust, say that he believes Cappy will be more like Roger Dorn in Major League.
Ole, get that Ole ass out of here. No, Roger Dorn, you know what he does, and that's most important in that whole situation? He takes one for the team.
He does.
I don't think Cappy's going to do that.
He did.
I don't think Cappy's going to do that.
Oh, no, Cappy says he's going to get on no matter how he's got to get on.
Oh, Clinton, you don't understand. Last year, I was not nearly as selective as I should have been at the plate. This year, I'm taking my time, and I plan on knocking bombs, dude.
Knocking bombs. Let's go with hard contact to start with. Yeah?
Yeah, I'm with you.
No.
Clinton
Home
Yates, enjoy the ESPYs. Thank you for coming on and enduring our nonsense.
All good. I will let you guys know how the after party is.
Wait. What after party you going to? Which one? Or a couple? Which one?
There's only one. And
The
it's
official.
presented by Simply Spiked. Exactly. So it's
I
only
know.
one. It's right here in the whatever the facility is in the Dolby Hall. So what I've done is I've taken off my jacket and put on this cardigan that I brought, like I'm Mr. Rogers, to chill and eat. And then when I go back to the party, I will put my blazer back on, and we will be back silent. That's how that's going to go.
Excellent stuff. We'll see you Friday, pal.
Later, boys.
See ya. All right, Cappy. There you go.
There's a lot of comparisons in the circle of trust right now,
Yeah,
George.
FP Santangelo is a good one, too. All right, coming up next, Radio Tinder, the award-winning Radio Tinder, is coming up next. But first, let me tell you, Cappy, if you get into an accident with a commercial van or truck or even an 18-wheeler, don't try to deal with the insurance company on your own. You got to call Jacob, man, right away. 844-24-JACOB. Trust me, the last thing you want to do is accept the first offer they call you with on the next day. Those commercial drivers, they got special licenses to operate those vehicles. They've had to log their activity on a daily basis with their employer. So if you're injured in an accident caused by an 18-wheeler or some sort of commercial vehicle, call Jacob at 844-24-JACOB. My guy Jacob and his team, they know what to look for, whether the driver has driven too long without a brake or the load he was carrying was unbalanced. There are many ways for Jacob and his team to hold that commercial vehicle company responsible. And by doing so, they're able to get you the medical care and settlement you deserve, not the one the insurance company wanted you to accept 12 hours after the accident happened. So you don't want to do that. Guys, look, a lot of attorneys say they'll fight for you. You call Jacob, he'll win for you. Call him at 844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB. Or visit him online at calljacob.com.
All right, hey, make sure you get yourself out to the West Covina Sportsplex coming up on July 14th. It is our All-Star Friday night. Team Mason and Team Travis. I'm on Mason's team for the second year in a row. We're looking to go back-to-back. I'm looking to hit another home run. I'm looking to beat Slee's team for the second year in a row. We're going to have a great time. Come on out, celebrate with us. You'll have a great time. You'll see some very bad softball. You're going to laugh. You'll have a ball. Come on out. All-Star Friday night, West Covina Sportsplex on July 14th.
The battle for playoff position is on for LAFC.
Crosses in the middle, Baylor, goal! Ball don't rise!
And coming to downtown LA for the first time is first place St. Louis City.
Oh, boy, another shot, goal!
It's the reigning MLS Cup champs facing the top team in the West. Pre-game of LAFC and St. Louis City starts Wednesday night at 7 p.m. on 710 ESPN and the ESPN LA app.
Television show Oz. I don't think Cappy and I could survive in jail. Just saying. You can follow her at Lindsay Baseball on Twitter or Instagram. Don't forget about our sponsor, founded in the city of Downey, our friends at Tequila Mandala. Always swipe right on Tequila Mandala. Take it away, producer Lindsay.
I actually would. That's like a funny comedy. I feel like Cappy and Chris in jail.
Me and Chris, cellmates trying to survive in jail.
Yeah.
You know that show
I
Oz
feel like that's
on
happened
HBO.
before.
Yeah. That show, Oz, I was completely consumed with that show. And I lived in New York City at the time. And I remember Tom Fontana, who was the executive producer and writer. I would see him at different HBO events that they would host. And I would go to those events just to try and get on his radar and go, dude, let me get into Oz. Let somebody kill me. Let somebody beat me up. Let somebody make me their, whatever. And there was a character on that show, George, Tobias Beecher. White guy, lawyer, and now all of a sudden he's in maximum security prison. He doesn't know which group to try and join. That was me. I'd have been the lost guy.
I was going to ask, between you and Morales, who would have been the one who beats the other one up? He'd be the one who beats you up, right? Clearly.
You mean in the show?
Yeah.
How come?
Because you just said, that's the one that you'd want to be. They can beat me, blah, 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 do whatever, they want with me type of thing.
Right, but that was not me and Morales.
Well,
that
that's
was
what
me
I'm
and Rick
asking.
Fox.
Okay.
I was in the jail cell with Rick Fox.
So between you and Morales, if you're in the jail cell together, which one of you are you then?
If you have to bet on one of us making it out alive, Lindsay Baseball, who you betting on, me or Morales?
That's a great question. I don't think I'm going to be able to answer that. I don't.
No, Chris, easy.
I was going to say, I feel like Chris is a little bit more street savvy.
Chris definitely knows how to get in with the right people, is what I would say.
Here's what I tell you. Morales is gutless.
You're too chummy is the problem.
No.
That becomes your problem, is that
They'd
you're
be like,
too,
this guy.
You're too chummy. They'd be like, this guy.
Sus.
They'd be like, this guy right here, when I hit the payphone, he got people that he can call on the outside to help take care of things.
You know who you'd be, Cap? You'd be the guy who they're like, yo, why don't you three-way someone for me? Use your credits to three-way someone for me. That would be you, Cap. And you'd be like, sure, no problem.
What do you mean three-way? When you're talking about three-ways in jail, what are you talking about?
When people are in jail and, if
The
somebody
phone call,
doesn't,
she meant,
if
yes.
they don't,
Oh.
so if somebody doesn't have enough money to call someone or they don't have money on their books or whatever, then they'll have someone else three-way call someone for them. And it's always the person who's, trying not to get beat up.
Well, I thought three-way meant something else in jail. My bad.
Well, I mean, I guess now that you say
y'all.
that,
My bad, y'all.
now that you say that, I should have
Listen to
clarified.
Funchie's in the back going, I thought the same thing.
Me too.
I guess I should have clarified, but
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, what do you got, Linz?
So the NFL and NFL Films have selected the Jets to serve as this year's team on HBO's Hard Knocks.
Nice.
So I didn't even know this until today. The league's criteria for teams to be eligible for Hard Knocks eliminates teams with first-year head coaches, teams that qualified for the playoffs in the past 2 seasons, and teams that have appeared in the past 10 seasons. So that only left 4 teams, right? The Jets, the Bears, the Saints, and the Commanders. But Jets head coach Robert Saleh said that...
Robert
Saleh.
Saleh. Let's all have a salad.
He said that he did not want his team to participate because he thought it would be too much of a distraction. So do you think that being on Hard Knocks will be a negative distraction for the Jets and their new quarterback, Aaron Rodgers? Swipe left or swipe right, George?
Swipe left. I don't think it's going to matter. I don't think it's going to be a distraction. I think there's going to be things that would probably have come out anyway, and I think that they're going to be super guarded because they didn't want to be there to begin with.
I'm going to swipe left also. I don't think this is much of a distraction. I will just say, though, that the NFL and Hard Knocks was like way ahead of its time. And now that you have like this...
It's kind of boring, actually.
Yeah, like what's the name of that show, the F1 series on Netflix? Drive to
Survive. Yeah.
Okay, so now you've got Drive to Survive.
They have the quarterbacks one.
There's the quarterbacks one, which is that's coming? That's the one that... Okay. And then there's the one about, the Tour de France cycling teams. There's the one about professional golf. I mean, the NFL was way ahead with all of this sort of insider perspective. But the original show, Hard Knocks, hasn't really been that exciting. Although I will say this. Last year, I watched every episode of the Detroit Lions, and I became a Lions fan. And this year, I'm already an Aaron Rodgers fan, so I can't wait to see how this plays out with the Jets. I'll watch every episode.
I feel like I'll watch it because of that. Just because it's Aaron Rodgers. None of those other teams, they don't interest me at all. Like, the Saints, maybe because Derek Carr, and you want to see what he does with his accent. But the Commanders, who's watching that? I'm not watching that.
No.
And the Bears, like maybe because Ohio State. And
the
Justin
Commanders
Fields,
they're tanking for Caleb in a big way.
Ooh, man. That would suck for him if he has to go there.
Not really. He's from there originally.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's
Good
from
for him,
D.C.
then.
He's going back to the crib.
He's from the DMV.
The crib. All right, well, sticking with the NFL, Tampa Bay Buccaneers' Tristan Wirfs is advocating for an extra bye week. In a recent interview, the left tackle expressed his concern about the toll that an extended regular season takes on players' bodies and firmly stated the need for an additional week of rest. He said, there's a difference going from 16 games to 17 games, big time. We need an extra bye week. Do you agree that there should be 2 bye weeks? Swipe left or swipe right? Kepi.
I'm going to swipe right. I think it's actually a brilliant idea.
Didn't there used to be 2 bye weeks?
I don't recall, but... It seems like a smart idea. Look,
I feel
an
like
NFL
there was
season,
maybe it was college football where I had that, but let me see.
An NFL
it was
season,
college for a minute.
Well, look, think about this. An NFL season is 18 games or 17 games.
Oh,
in
it
18
was.
weeks.
They did have it. 1993, they did it.
The NFL?
Yep. I knew I was right about that.
So
I knew
think
I had
about
seen
that.
that before.
So think about that for a second. It's a 17-game season in 18 weeks. What if they made it a 17-game season in 19 weeks? It's not like there'd be a bye where the NFL would be shut down. It's just certain teams would have off. And you do it twice during the year. I mean, you would get fresher bodies and better football at the end, I think, if you gave them an extra week.
Yeah, because
I like that idea.
Football is already a battle of attrition. You know what I mean? I actually think all these sports, because these athletes are bigger, stronger, faster, but it means they're putting more torque on their body when they're, running and turning and spinning and jumping and all that stuff, that I actually think building in rest for all sports at this point is probably smarter, building in more rest.
They should load manage in the NFL.
Well, no, not load manage. Build in more time off is what I'm saying for all these sports. Yes.
Yeah, there was some study somewhere where the number of injuries, obviously, since they added the additional game, has gone up. And plus, they even changed the rule about how many quarterbacks you can have on a roster. So it's almost like they're going towards this anyway, because it's like they seem to know that, this is taking a toll, because if they're making exceptions with rosters.
Just start, I mean, they already got the Super Bowl into February. Who cares? You know what I mean? At this point, what are you going to do? Just go, so right now the season starts usually that first Thursday, right?
It's like September 9th, 10th, 11th, somewhere in the neighborhood, yeah.
Yeah, in that range, right? Yeah, just, start in August. Who cares?
Doesn't matter. They can go later. They can start earlier. It doesn't matter. People are going to love it no matter what. One extra week for better quality football and to keep your guys healthier. I'm all
September 7th is the first game on that Thursday. Yeah, just start a week earlier. Who cares?
Detroit and Kansas City, huh? That first Thursday.
Get rid of another preseason game. They already did it once, right?
Right. Just play 2 preseason games.
Yeah, they really only need 2 preseason games.
One in each place, exactly. Call it a day.
Yeah.
Owners don't want to give up that money.
I mean, stop.
It's stupid. Believe me, I would never go to a preseason game.
Wouldn't they make up
the
more
dumbest
money
thing ever.
if they're adding a game? Wouldn't you theoretically?
No, but they're not adding a game.
No, they're just spacing out.
Okay, yeah, you're
right. But if you're an owner, here's the upside. Hey, man, your star players may be healthy when it matters.
Probably saving some money on that end. All right, last one here. In a move to inject some excitement into the regular season, the NBA officially unveiled its new in-season tournament over the weekend, the NBA Cup. That sounds really funny, like the NBA Cup. It's a European Cup-style competition in which all 30 teams will compete. Players on the winning team will each get a cool $500,000. Every game will count in the stats and the standings, except for the championship game, which will be in Las Vegas. maybe if you want to get into it, George can explain like the intricate details of this thing. But do you guys like the idea of the new in-season tournament? Swipe left or swipe right, George?
I do because, though I would have liked to have seen more stakes. That's the only thing I would have liked to have seen. I would have liked to have seen if the winner gets, like, I don't know, the 5th pick in the draft or something, or an automatic play-in spot, right? Or at the very least, or, you know, something like that. I would have liked to have seen. Now, granted, they can still tinker with all that stuff, but I think it makes sense. Look, David Stern many, many, many years ago when he was alive wanted to globalize the game. He's done that. Look at the best players in the sport, right? They are right now you can make the case that the top 5 guys, that at least 3 or 4 of them are international players. And I think that the next step was to take the game global in regards to the way they do it. Adam Silver's a huge soccer fan. This works in every major soccer league in the world. So I do think eventually you'll get this, and you'll get it to have them compete against maybe the FIBA champion, right? Like, or something like that. Like, I think there's ways to even grow this, but I like it. It's a good start, is what I would say.
So, Lindsay, baseball, I'm going to swipe left. I'm going to say until I see it, feel it, understand it, and then see how it impacts the season, if it does in any way, I don't love it. But everything you just said, George.
You're so American.
Well, that's just it. Everything you just said is so right. I mean, it is the sport of let me put it this way, not basketball. NBA basketball has been, to your point, internationalized. And they are utilizing what pro soccer leagues do in Europe. And it's so foreign to us, no pun intended. It is so foreign to us to think that you're going to stop a season and have like a second championship of some kind. So my initial thought is I don't like it, but I reserve the right to change my mind because I want to see how it all plays out. So I'm curious.
But I have a question. Maybe I'm ignorant. And I was trying to read the rules at least to have a general idea. Are they necessarily like stopping the season, or these games count in the standings and everything? So isn't it just like they're incorporating it?
The group play is incorporated into the schedule already. And then what will happen is they'll have a Final Four. They'll have a knockout stage, right? And then the Final Four will be played in a neutral site, which will likely be Vegas, if I had to guess, in December. Every December, if I had to guess. And what the NBA wants is, because the finals aren't that, okay? And the All-Star game is no longer that either in a lot of ways because it's too corporate, basically. So this is like a fan event, right? They look at the Final Four, and like I've been to the Final Four in San Antonio. It's a blast, okay? There's not a lot of reasons that I love going to San Antonio, but I love going to San Antonio for a Final Four because everyone descends on there. It's like a cool fan event, and I think the NBA can do some of that stuff with like what they did just recently at Summer League, NBA Con, which is like their own NBA experience, right? You can have a lot of these things done there that are just done for the fans, less corporatization of it.
I mean, I get the whole thing, December, Vegas. Weather's probably good or good enough. It's a place where people would go to during December. It's right probably before the holidays, I'm guessing.
Right. It'll be December 7th through the 9th.
For me, all I'm saying is this. I am an American sports fan. I acknowledge that. I don't follow Premier League soccer, so I don't know this from hey, I've seen it in soccer perspective. I think on the surface I don't love it, but reserve the right to change my mind later because I want to see how it is.
So basically they're not, unless you get to the championship, you're not even necessarily playing more games.
The champion will have played
3 more games?
One more game.
Okay. Yeah.
83 games.
And it's all based on like standings, and the seeds are based on.
Well, not actually the two teams. The two teams that get to the final will have played one more game than everyone else.
Yeah. So I didn't know all that. I thought it was like Cap said, where they're like, like the Olympics, where they're like stopping it, doing a separate breakout thing, but it's all incorporated into the regular season.
Correct.
So I kind of get it.
Now, by the way, you don't have to go too far, Mr. American. I am a real American. Fight for the rights of every man. Okay? The WNBA has done this already for years.
Okay, but nobody's paid attention to it.
Well, what I'm telling you is that they've done it. Just like things that get experimented in the G League and the WNBA also become part of this.
Yeah,
and
makes sense.
they've done the G League Showcase in December for many years. All this stuff is stuff they've already worked out the kinks in other leagues.
Makes all the sense in the world, right? I mean, when baseball was thinking about a pitch clock, they did it in the minors,
and just
right?
because you're not paying attention to it doesn't mean that other people aren't paying attention to it.
George, come on, man.
I'm just saying there are people who know that, particularly from the WNBA, Cap. Like, that's not like a small thing.
All I'm saying is this.
You don't like basketball, so that's fine.
That's not true. It's not that I don't like basketball.
I mean, you don't. It's okay. You've said it before. You don't like it.
No, it's not that I don't like basketball.
Yeah, you don't. Just admit it.
No, it's not
Just
that I don't like
admit it.
basketball. It's that, honestly.
Come on, Ken Caminiti.
I mean, you shill for the WNBA like as if everybody listening is watching it.
No,
We're not.
what I'm saying is when you say the way you summarily dismiss it seems condescending.
It's not intended to be condescending.
Well,
it's
that's
factual.
That's how it's received.
You see, and that's the difference in interpretation.
But here's the difference. There, like when you like WNBA games, get better numbers than Major League Baseball on television.
Oh, really?
They do.
Okay, and is that you're talking about like national TV?
Yes.
So the like Fox national
So
TV
the WNBA game on ABC.
Yeah.
Unless it's Yankees Red Sox for the most part, most times it's right there with Sunday Night Baseball.
Okay, then listen, if that's the case, and if you're right, and I have no reason to believe you're not right, we should honestly every day start doing a lot more WNBA talk.
We don't
around here.
have to, but what
No,
I'm
I
saying
think it's a
is,
better idea.
What I'm saying is, it's just like it sounds like you're summarily dismissing it.
I'm summarily dismissing the
You
fact
were
that I've
too
never
busy
seen
at
it.
the WNBA game wondering why my sided polls were loaded than why you were watching the WNBA game.
Yeah, I was bored. I was bored.
You were wondering, which, by the way, today when you sent me to another site with a sided poll, it worked.
Yeah, nice.
So tell your engineer he did a good job.
He sure did. I took pictures of your phone that night.
Clearly, the other night, he hadn't done a good job.
Found a bug.
Yeah, up your tookus.
Hey, listen, the WNBA, I went. I was willing to give it a try. I'm even willing to go back for more.
No, you're not.
No, I am.
I don't want you to ever go back.
Wow.
You're not allowed.
Wow. Are you the commissioner?
I am. I am
really?
now I am the Mark Tatum of the WNBA. You
Well,
are
who's
not
that?
allowed to go
Who's
there.
Mark Tatum?
Mark Tatum is the assistant commissioner of the NBA.
Who's the commissioner of the WNBA?
The commissioner of the WNBA is, I forget her name right
Come
now.
on, do better, man.
I'm sorry, I forgot her
Come
name.
on, that's
Yes.
not acceptable.
Okay, I'm sorry, I forgot her name. So, Kathy
Smith?
No,
Stevens.
it's like a long
Stevenson?
name.
Smith and Stevenson. Stonenstein.
Engelberg?
Engelbert Humperdinck?
No.
Engelbert. Stephanie Engelbert.
Kathy.
Stephanie.
Engelbert.
Kathy.
Samsonite.
Kathy Engelbert.
But you don't even know Mark Tatum.
Who's that?
No relation to Jason.
Who's Mark Tatum?
I just told you.
You know who the associate commissioner is, but you don't know who the real commissioner is?
No, Mark Tatum is the associate commissioner for the NBA.
Oh,
he's the guy who does the second round of the the draft.
I'm summarily dismissing him.
Why are you doing that? He's a nice fellow.
Summarily. Not just dismissal.
I mean,
Summaral dismissal.
I mean, you are a piece of work. You are. Let me guess. You're watching this soccer match
even I do.
because
Even I
it's
think
in
I'm a
San
piece of work.
Diego.
I mean, I'm going to watch the other one tonight because it's in Mexico or because it's in Vegas. But it's got Team USA. That's why I'm
You're
watching
watching it for the Cappy Cast.
I mean, what does that have to do with anything?
Uh-huh.
I mean, should I not watch the game tonight with Team Mexico? This is Team USA. If this were Panama
When we were watching,
versus
what
Japan,
happened the last time I was watching soccer? You were like, I didn't even know. Like, I didn't even know it was even happening. I'm
know that
glad
this
you
is
know it's
happening.
happening now.
Yeah,
You
it's in my
guys
backyard.
You talk a lot of CONCACAF on the CappyCast, do you?
A little bit, yeah. Well, I have some soccer experts there.
Oh, okay.
You have soccer experts?
That's right.
Get out of here.
Expertise, George. Expertise.
Get out of here.
What you know about soccer, homeboy?
Do you bring your guy Landon on there?
I do.
I figured.
Landon.
That's right.
See.
Anybody see my boy Landon's hair on TV this afternoon? Working on spiking it up a little bit on the top.
Yeah. Well, didn't you were ripping his hair or lack thereof a
I
while
wasn't
back.
ripping it. I wasn't ripping his hair or lack thereof.
I mean, during the World Cup you were, I
I was
believe.
commenting on it. I was telling him, dude, shave it down.
Okay, well, that's what I'm saying.
Same thing I told him at lunch.
Oh, look at you. Is he going to get in on Sided too?
Been in for a long time.
Sided too, Electric Boogaloo?
Been in for a long time, Georgie.
Yeah.
By the way,
what
he
are we
pays
doing
for
here?
lunch. He pays for lunch when we go.
You make him pay?
Dude, he's got a lot of money.
He's your investor.
Got a lot of
He's
money.
giving you money.
He's a very rich guy.
Radio Tinder is presented by Tequila Mandala.
Darn right.
You can
it is.
ask them for money to pay you for your lunch too?
No, they paid for dinner the other night.
Always swipe right on Tequila Mandala, award-winning small batch premium sippy tequila made from the finest mature agaves, available everywhere fine tequilas are sold. Visit their website, tequilamandala.com. Demand the extraordinary with Tequila Mandala. Let's just stick around in here at this point. Do it again. Just go back to break at 56 or something.
I like these long segments.
Yeah. By the
I
way,
like
Mina
these much
Kimes did post that she took a date to the ESPYs. She's got her baby bump.
I mean, that's pretty cute.
It is
That's
cute.
pretty nice.
You know, it's funny.
Tell me, what's funny?
I saw her post a new picture on Instagram about her haircut, and I'm like, she looks different. And you know, I should have thought of the
glow?
pregnant glow.
Mhm.
Yeah,
She's glowing.
I was like, and I thought maybe it was just the way she was styling her hair. But you know, I'm an idiot. I'm a guy. I don't know. But I should have. Oh, the glow. Of course.
Some women just have it.
Yeah.
Way to go, Mina.
Yeah. We need to bring her back on the show. But now that she's pregnant, I'm not making her come on the show.
What do you mean making her? How about just inviting her?
Yeah, she's busy. She's about to have a child.
She's not about to have a child. I mean, isn't she? How far along is she?
I mean, it looks like she's a little bit far along.
I mean, we were calling Ramona when she was in labor.
Right, but it's also different. Exactly. It's a little different.
Well, mazel tov, Mina.
You know Momo a little bit now. I mean, we got to get her to know you first.
Mina?
Yeah, like know you. Like
yeah, I don't
Momo
know
knows
her.
you.
I don't know her. I don't
Right.
know Mina.
I mean, you know her, and she knows you, but you don't like know her.
No, I
Like-
don't know her.
Like
I don't know
Ramona. Momo knows you. You graduated from Ramona to Momo at some point.
Yeah, Momo and I have this weird kind of like brother-sister vibe going on, you know? So that's kind of that deal. I don't have that vibe going yet with Mina. I'd like to have that with Mina. You know, maybe I could give her some parenting advice if she'd like it.
I mean, perhaps.
I mean, I'm a lot further ahead of her, you know?
You are. You've got 4.
Right. Well, I got to
Now,
go do...
you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take the kids to a WNBA game.
Well, listen, I'll tell you right now, the kids would love a WNBA game.
Yeah. You can't go.
Can't
Why
come?
did you hate it, Cap?
Rachel, yes. The kids, yes. Even Rachel's kids.
They can come too?
Not you.
Really? It's not that I hated it, Laura. It's just I wasn't really into it, you know? I mean, you know, when you're in the suite, and that's where we were, for a Lakers game, you know, and there's 17,000, 18,000 people there. You can get into the game and get into the vibe and get into the energy. When we got to the game, I mean, first of all, the arena is only like half full, if that, number one.
But it's lit.
No, they did a great job. The in-game entertainment is outstanding.
Mhm.
It's excellent.
The DJ's popping.
But by the time we got there, you know, the game wasn't close. It wasn't like an interesting result.
I mean,
you
the
know?
Sparks haven't been good.
They've been hurt.
Right. So, yeah, so it wasn't like it was an exciting game for me to sit there and go, wow, I really, really liked the game. I liked the presentation.
So my thing is, I know the Sparks aren't at their, peak. They are going through injuries, like George said, and they haven't played great. So I knew what I was getting when I was going to the game because I know a little bit about the team. So to me, it's like if you would have read up a little bit about the team and where they were, maybe you would know that they weren't going to be putting on a show.
Well, I did know that going in because I didn't
then
read
there you
about
go.
it. No, I didn't read about it. I said, George, how are the Sparks?
Oh,
and he gave me a full Sedano breakdown of who's
caught
hurt
that.
and who's not hurt and who's available and what they've been doing. And
Yeah, they're missing
everything
6
else.
girls. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, what do you expect them to do? They got they got Destiny Henderson playing on a 10-day. You know what I mean?
I mean, hey, Destiny Henderson.
She balled out. She got him a win, in her first game. But what are you going to do?
Let me tell you something about Destiny Henderson that you probably don't know and I do. She creates amazing space, and she's very vertical in her game. I mean, that's just my own scouting report based on what I saw that night. That's just my opinion.
This actually gets to the bucket pretty well.
She really does. She does a nice job. She's very aggressive around the rim.
Wait,
That's right.
Your scouting report that you did that night
That's
to a
right.
game that you didn't pay attention to?
I paid attention enough, Laura, to know what Destiny Henderson's story is playing on a 10-day. You know, today's day 9 of 10. I hope she gets another one.
Okay, Cappy.
You know, I hope
No,
they
I
don't
got your
send her
back,
down
Cap. I
to
got
the
your
G
back.
League.
But,
Are you going to watch this Tyson Fury thing with Francis Ngannou?
So my answer is immediately yes. 100% I'm going to watch it. Because, listen, you tell me you're going to take the best heavyweight boxer in the world, or one of them, and you're going to put him in a boxing ring against one of the all-time best heavyweight mixed martial artists, right? What do you think's going to happen?
I don't love it for Francis Ngannou.
Okay, right. Me neither. Like, I assume that because it's a boxing match, the boxer is going to kick the mixed martial artist's ass.
I don't know about kick his ass, but I mean, he's definitely got the advantage.
Right, because you've come into my sport. You've come into my ring. If the boxer went into the octagon and the rules of mixed martial arts were in place, the boxer's a dead man. Dead. He got no ground game. He don't know about maneuvers and like chokeouts and ground and pound. He don't know about any of that stuff. He doesn't know about stand-up boxing.
Rear naked chokehold.
Doesn't know rear naked, George. Knows rear clothed, but not rear naked.
Right.
Who do you think has the advantage in that situation, the boxer or the MMA fighter?
Like the current setup?
Yes.
Yeah, the boxer does.
The boxer. So, but you see, when we were all kids, we all wanted to see a fighter, like a boxer versus a kung fu expert. Like, what would happen if Muhammad Ali would fight Bruce Lee? You know, like we as little kids, we all wanted to see different disciplines and how those things would work. But this is a boxing match. So I'm just going to take the guess that the boxer is going to win. But the reason I would watch that is what if? What if the mixed martial artist can take down the boxer?
What if I told
boxing
you?
match?
What if I told you
Keep going.
that an MMA fighter who was a champion came into the boxing ring, the squared circle, and took out a reigning heavyweight champion? Doom, 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 doom.
It's good 30 for 30. I like it.
Hey there, I'm George Sedano.
Hey now.
Kind of close.
Hey now. Yeah, I like it. I like the idea. I will be watching. When is that fight? Because they got it all officially scheduled, right?
It's October.
Yeah.
Wow, October.
I mean, it's October. I'll probably be at like a college football game somewhere. Like, I'm going to be honest, I'm probably not watching that.
October 28th.
Yeah. Chances are I'm doing some game somewhere.
If you flipped it, I feel like it might be the MMA fighter. Like, if you flipped it, I feel like Francis Ngannou has a less of a chance against Tyson Fury in a boxing match than Tyson Fury does against Francis Ngannou in an MMA
Tyson
match.
Fury has no chance in an MMA match.
Really?
Right. Zero. No, he'll get
None.
eaten
I feel like
he'll
he could
get
just
eaten
punch
for
you
lunch.
out.
No.
Okay.
He's kicked in the legs. He goes down like a big tree. He's done.
Yeah. If he hits the ground, it is over.
Big time.
Over. Over.
I want to know why Francis
Like-
agreed to this.
Money.
Yeah, money. And, he's got a decent, game up top, for...
It's all upside, though. Nobody expects him to win. So if he pulls
Correct.
a shocking upset,
Right.
everybody's
If
like, wow.
If he cracks him... And
Right.
look, here's the reality of it. In any combat sport, all it takes is one shot. Mm-hmm. And it changes the trajectory of the entire fight. So...
It could happen.
Yeah. All right, we're done here for one more hour. We got one more hour to go.
Well, at least let me tell everybody about 710's biggest party of the summer. It's happening this Friday. You know all about it, George. Starts at 10 a.m. at the West Covina Sportsplex. It's made possible by the Riverside Sheriff's Department. Riverside Sheriff's service above self. We'll see you this Friday in the city of West Covina for the All-Star Friday night. And, George, bring your A-game, sucker.
Don't miss Travis
Battle for playoff position is on for LAFC.
Crosses in the middle, Baylor, goal! Oh, don't lie!
And coming to downtown LA for the first time is first place St. Louis City.
Oh, boy, another shot, goal!
It's the reigning MLS Cup champs facing the top team in the West. Pre-game of LAFC and St. Louis City starts Wednesday night at 7 p.m. on 710 ESPN and the ESPN LA app.
All right, hey, make sure you get yourself out to the West Covina Sportsplex coming up on July 14th. It is our All-Star Friday night. Team Mason and Team Travis. I'm on Mason's team for the second year in a row. We're looking to go back-to-back. I'm looking to hit another home run. I'm looking to beat Slee's team for the second year in a row. We're going to have a great time. Come on out. Celebrate with us. You'll have a great time. You'll see some very bad softball. You're going to laugh. You'll have a ball. Come on out. All-Star Friday night, West Covina Sportsplex on July 14th.
Sedano and Kap for your afternoon right now on 710 ESPN.
It's time for what you need to know.
Let's do it. What you need to know right now.
What you need to know is brought to you by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Good times, less than 90 minutes from wherever you are. Linz, what do you got?
Well, guys, Britney Spears has announced that she is releasing a book titled The Woman in Me, which is available to pre-order now.
Oh, Cappy's all over it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I am too. The pop star's memoir will cover the events of the conservatorship put in place by her father, which was eventually removed in 2021 after 13 years. It's described as, quote, a brave and astonishingly moving story about her freedom, fame, motherhood, survival, faith, and hope.
Now, how different is it from the Hulu documentary?
Well, she didn't have any say. Like, those were all produced on their own.
Right.
And she...
But also not produced by her father either, so...
Correct.
Yeah.
She said that a lot of that stuff was untrue and a lot of it was based on rumors, which,
okay.
I mean, that's what TMZ is kind of in the rumor business.
Right.
And I do think that TMZ is like some type of relationship with her dad. But
yeah.
I was just telling these guys back here, Laura and Funch, that I think that if she's doing a book, I feel like she's going to reveal way more.
Oh, she's going to sell a lot of copies. She's got an incredibly rabid fan base.
Oh,
still.
yeah. And I think the fact that she is so open on social media and she's so... Like, she doesn't care what people think about her. She's just going to do whatever the hell she wants.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that people probably want to protect her. I just feel like she's definitely going to share some things that
I think we're going to get the half-truth from her.
I agree with Fudge. I feel like being naked on IG is very different than being naked emotionally.
Like, we're going to get the Derek Jeter autobiography from Britney Spears.
Yeah, but did anybody happen to see Britney take to Instagram? And, you know, she's standing in her living room in her really palatial estate up in the Mulholland Estates area, you know, and she's got her skirt pulled way, way, way down to expose her midriff, you know.
She does that in every video.
No, I realize. I'm saying that's her whole thing. Like, she's always showing her midriff like she's 16 or 18 years old, like she was as a kid.
Well, she's got a body, you know.
No, listen, I'm all for it. Don't get me wrong. And so she's
if you looked
there,
like that, you'd be naked all the time.
Right. I mean, I would never be wearing a shirt. So then she's standing there and she's kind of telling you the whole Wemby deal.
Well, how about we just let her say it?
Okay, because she's not letting this Wemby thing go.
Yeah, I think she's talking about you.
Well, here's what she said.
Hi, so I wanted to share with you guys an incident that happened in Vegas that a lot of people are talking about. And I heard on the news this radio station talking smack and talking but I'm addressing it, saying that I deserve to be smacked. Security was doing their job and protecting their client. I've been with the most famous people in the world. In sync at one time, girls would like literally throw themselves at them. On my way into the place, actually, I was knocked down by like 3 12-year-olds trying to get my picture. My security not one time touched them or even came near them. Point being is, I didn't appreciate the people saying that I deserve to be hit, because no woman ever deserves to be hit. I simply tapped him on the back. I was backhanded, hit my face, came back on the floor. My best friend picked me up and held me. And I did get an apology at my table 30 minutes later, but I've yet to receive a public apology. That's it.
Okay, so
free Britney.
I would agree that no one deserves to get hit, right? I feel like we established that. Now, I don't know if is she talking about you? Like, is she talking about us? Like, I remember vaguely the conversation that we had. Why is Steve Mason back here? Hey, what are you doing?
He's going to the LAFC game tonight.
Going to the LAFC.
Oh, he's going to LAFC.
LAFC.
Forgot his glasses.
So I don't,
taking on St. Louis.
I don't remember if we had that specific conversation. I know we did have the conversation about Wemby and Britney Spears, but I don't recall anyone here saying anything other than, hey, you shouldn't hit a woman. And also, but we were also kind of having the other side of the conversation, like, what would her security have done if the roles were reversed, right? Like, so we were having that conversation, but apparently, I thought of, like, you. I'm like, could Cappy have said something and I not have caught it? Or did he say something when I was gone? So we have a take from Friday, Cappy, from you.
Okay, what did I say?
When I was gone. I don't know. I wasn't here.
Okay, I don't know what you said either.
About Britney? Is this what? Okay,
Yeah.
let's hear what Cappy had to say about Britney. So,
I mean, this whole idea that she gets hit by the security guard and that there's charges that could be pressed. And gosh, we should really be careful about what we're talking about, because a man hitting a woman. I'm like, guys, this is a story about a celebrity sighting gone wrong. This is not about violence. I mean, it just wasn't. Now the story is she hits herself in the face, whatever. But she turned it into, I'm a victim of violence, rather than this got just a little bit weird and, oh my goodness, this security guy didn't know it was me and I hit myself in the face. Okay, it's all good. It was just a big funny thing that happened. Yeah. Instead of her making it funny and having a sense of humor, she kind of turned it into, like, I'm a victim. Mm-hmm. You think, so now, after hearing that,
I think
George,
she's going after you.
She might be. And I'm here for it. I really am. Now,
Not me. That's you, bro.
I don't want anything to do with her husband, because her husband looks like he's pretty yoked.
He will kick your ass.
Okay, I don't want anything to do with that guy right there.
Yeah, I don't want anything to do with her and her fan base either. That's all you, homie.
Well, let me tell you something. Britney could have made this really fun. She could have made this really fun.
I mean, no one getting hit is fun. Like,
well,
no,
I mean, here's the thing.
Yeah.
All the charges were dropped, but a guy from the San Antonio security team hit Britney Spears in the arm, and Britney Spears' arm then hit her in the face. That guy who hit Britney Spears, I still to this moment blame Britney Spears' security team. I mean, how there is not a rumble in that hallway in that moment. You just smacked Britney Spears' hand and forced her to hit herself in the face. What's wrong with you guys? And by the way, this is all Britney's security team's fault in the first place. Because if she wants a picture with Wemby, Britney gets the picture with Wemby, okay? But it requires her security guy to go to their security guys and go, hey, big guy, I've told you the whole big guy rules. So, listen, it doesn't surprise me one bit that Britney was listening to the show and that she was offended by somebody talking you-know-what. But I think I was defending Britney, and I still to this moment say free Britney.
Really?
That's right. You feeling me, Perk?
Really?
That's right.
Yeah.
I feel like you were singing a different tune on Friday.
I mean, you just heard what I said.
Yeah, and you said I feel like she's turned this into.
She has. She turned it into I'm a victim. She should have turned it into I have a sense of humor.
Well, I mean, she was also a victim at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really?
Both things can be true, right?
Correct.
Oh,
yes.
Really? Both things can be true at once.
I mean, should she have approached them that way? Probably not, because I would imagine if the roles were reversed, that would not be appropriate either.
Boy, they take Wemby down in 2 seconds.
But what I would say is she did get hit, and she deserves an apology.
Public apology.
That's all she wants.
That's all she wants.
Yeah.
I mean,
Public apology.
listen,
He needs to just do it, right?
Listen, until I see Wemby crying on Instagram, the dude is not apologized.
Yeah, I don't know what needs to happen. I feel like if they've already apologized, they've apologized. Public apology, private apology.
No, she
that's
requires
not for
public.
me to decide.
No,
Well,
she
she
requires
said he already
public.
did.
No,
He
she
did
said
apologize.
he did it in private
Right.
at her table.
Right.
Have an ounce of class and apologize to this woman on social media. Apologize to her publicly.
I mean, they're going to come after you, bro.
So what should she have done, Cappy? You said she should have had fun with it and been like, oh, I have a sense of humor. What would you have done if you were her?
She would have. What she should have done was been like, oh, my God, this has been the craziest thing. I saw this super tall guy, and I went chasing after him because I thought it would be fun to take a picture. And as it turns out, I went to try and get a hold of him, and his security guy went to smack my hand away because he didn't even know it was me. And then what happened is I hit myself in the face, and oh, my God, what a funny, weird thing that happened.
She probably didn't know she hit herself with her hand because if it happens that fast, you just feel something hit your face.
All right, well, then they should have pressed charges. This guy put his hands on her.
I believe they did.
She tried to,
Right.
and Las
And then they
Vegas
dropped him.
police, no, they didn't drop him. They chose not to press the charges. Like, she filed them, and they said no.
Based on the video they saw, they
Yeah.
chose not to press charges. Right.
All right, well, she should have. If she would have had a sense of humor about the whole thing, it would have been cute. It would have been funny. It would have been benign. But instead, she turned it into, I'm a victim. Well, if she's a victim, I stand with Britney.
Okay.
Because you know what, George? Sometimes you can convince yourself of your own truth, even though the rest of us see it differently, and then you just marry yourself to your own truth, and that's what Britney's doing here.
I think she's just mad that she was treated
Now she's
like a
going to
regular
send another
person.
Instagram post about
Yeah.
this.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
You better
for
watch
real,
out,
that's
Cam.
happening.
I don't know. Listen, I'm
Scott
doing
Kaplan.
psychological
Okay?
evaluations on the air.
Scott Kaplan.
We do
Okay.
not endorse his opinions,
I do
takes.
not. No, at all. That's all you. That's all him, not me. Yep.
Well, I understand these things.
Yeah. Not me. I am not condoning that behavior or his commentary in the least. So there you have it.
I ordered her book.
You already ordered it, huh?
Yep.
By the way, Cappy, I was incorrect slightly.
What? I would never even consider such a thing. You being incorrect? Stop.
The baseball numbers I was referring to were not Sunday Night Baseball. It was the two weekly games, one on Fox Sports 1 and on MLB Network, which have 410,000 and 239,000 respectively. And the NBA games on ESPN and ABC both trump those numbers by a wide margin. So there you have it. Just wanted to clear on that.
Okay. Well, listen, I think here's what my thought going forward is this. Any talk of baseball on this show, waste of everybody's time.
No, it's not.
And we should spend more time on WNBA.
It's not a waste of everyone's time. What I'm just saying is don't be a summarily dismisser.
A summarily dismisser?
Yeah.
Or a summarial, I don't know. I got to think about how to divide those words up.
I mean, I didn't know how to say it, so I figured those are the two words that we should be discussing because that's what I said. You summarily dismiss them.
Don't be such a summarial dismisser.
Well,
stuff.
it's summarily, so it's not
Yeah,
summarial. Summarial probably would mean something else, I presume.
I don't know. I don't even know if it's a real word. I may have just made it up.
Perhaps. But you are on fire.
En fuego.
And not in a good way. Don't get burned, Kepi. Don't get
Brittany,
burned.
I love you, girl.
Don't get burned. All right, coming up next, Darvin Ham. Man, he's making the rounds over at Summer League. We'll tell you what he's up to next.
with that.
Yeah, the Addams Family show.
Mm-hmm. And then Pedro Pascal, I know he's in a show that I don't
Mandalorian.
watch. There you go.
Yeah.
I don't watch it.
Pedro.
But Latino stand up. Cappy, just
Stand
give
up.
it to me.
Stand up. That's right, stand up.
I stopped watching The Mandalorian after one season, not because I didn't like it, just because I ran out of time to watch something. So I may pick that up again.
Oh, the second one is a tearjerker.
Really?
Second season?
I cried at the end. Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah, big time.
Can't wait for Wednesday.
Yeah,
I don't know
I'm
that
going to
show.
pick up
What's
The
it on?
Mandalorian again. I got nothing to do in the summer. It's that now that I ran through Succession so quickly.
I'll tell you, George, I'm watching a series right now. I think it's a short series. I think 6 or 7 episodes. It's on HBO Max, or just Max. It's called Love and Death. Have you heard about this?
No.
Okay, this is a story about these church-going Christian people in Texas in the mid-'80s. And
it's a true story.
Yeah, true story.
So
And
it's a scripted show?
it's a scripted show about a true story. And here's why. I'm only 3 episodes in, but here's what the story is. This woman is married to this guy. They're, like I said, they're very church-going people. They're well-known in their community. And she starts sleeping with another guy from the congregation, from the choir, and his wife is going through all kinds of like mental health problems. And so they have this affair. But then they're like he's getting his marriage back together, and she's not really getting hers back together. And I haven't gotten this far in the series yet, but the true story is that the woman who was cheated on tried to kill the woman who was the cheater, but the woman who was the cheater in self-defense killed the mother/wife who was being cheated on. Does that make sense? Did I describe that well or no?
No.
I confuse you?
It's about Candy Montgomery, who killed the guy she was having an affair with back in the 80s.
Candy Montgomery killed the wife, I think,
That's
of
what
the
I
guy.
meant. Yes, the wife of the guy she was having an affair with.
Right.
They actually had a series on Hulu that Jessica Biel played the same role. It was like based off the same story. Jessica Biel played Candy. This was, 6 months ago or whatever. This one is way better. It has Elizabeth Olsen as the lead.
Yeah.
It's way better than the other one. The other one's just called Candy on Hulu.
Yeah. Check it out, George. Love and Death. I'm 3 episodes in. And I'll leave you with this to try and tease you into watching this.
I
You
don't
ready?
think you'd like it, George.
No, hold on. You get to the end of episode 3, and the 2 women are face to face, the cheater and the cheated. And the cheated goes, "Hold on, I'll be right back." And she comes walking into the room, and she's holding a big old axe. And that's when episode 3 ends. So I got to know what happens next. I mean, she starts swinging this axe at this girl or what? And then how does this girl escape? I'm going to watch the rest of it. Love and Death, George. Try it out. Let me know what you think.
It doesn't sound like my kind of show, to be honest.
No.
Yeah.
No. I mean, Succession we watched together.
Yeah, it just doesn't sound like my kind of thing.
No. Not interested, huh?
By the way, Cappy, I thought of you on Friday
Tell me.
because I watched the last part of the Arnold doc.
Oh, I loved it.
And you're right about it being inspirational. Kind of made me feel like I'm an a-hole. Like, you know how he's like, all these people, they want to play the victim, whatever he says. And, if life sucks, change it, And it just made me feel like, you know what? He's right.
You should sign up for his daily newsletter because he sends all kinds of things, nutrition, working out, inspiration, getting over humps and battles in your life. And I saw Arnold put out a thread yesterday. Is that what you call those now? Like if somebody puts out a tweet, I guess you would call it a thread.
Yep.
Arnold put out a thread. I guess his Netflix doc series, whatever, was one of the most watched and, just did huge, massive numbers.
Yeah, within the first few, hours or days, it was the most streamed in that short period of time, yeah.
Yeah, good for Arnold. And I'm telling you, I'm getting his emails every day, and he writes really interesting stuff, and I don't know for sure that it's all him, or maybe he dictates it and somebody else, puts it out there for him, but I'm telling you, the Arnold doc was great. I loved it.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. At first, I was just like, nah, whatever, but he's a very articulate guy. I was surprised at how well spoken he is as far as about just life in general, and I don't mean literally speaking. I'm just saying his ideas and thoughts, and he's just a very seems like a very motivational guy, like you said, inspirational.
I was 18 years old. I was sitting in a training camp. George, you'll love this because I know you wanted to talk about that Pat Fitzgerald Northwestern story. I was 18 years old. I was a freshman in college. I was at our first training camp. I'm in this little tiny nothing town called Johnstown, Pennsylvania, and I am miserable, man. And I'm miserable because I'm 18. I'm by myself. I'm kind of realizing I don't live at home anymore. I don't have my mom to do stuff for me. I'm battling with other kickers in training camp, and I'm trying to play, but it was really like 6 or 7 guys against one because they didn't really care who played as long as it wasn't me, and so I'm sitting there, I'm reading this article from Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I remember this quote. I don't remember it exactly, like I didn't take a picture of it back then and hang it on my wall, but it's something like, when you want something, you just focus all your mental energy on it, and then it just sort of manifests. And I'm 18 years old, and this is like 30-something years ago. And it's so stuck with me. I've loved Arnold Schwarzenegger ever since. I love people who are not just one thing. They don't get pigeonholed into, he was just a bodybuilder, so he can't be a great actor. He's just a bodybuilder and actor, so he can't be the governor of the state of California. I mean, he never let those rules apply to him. And I love Arnold. Arnold, I know you're listening right now. Much love to you, sir. Love to have you on the show.
Much love.
Although George hates the documentary.
I just have no interest.
Well, I mean, you seem to make it, as though he couldn't have a documentary because it's from him. So therefore, he has no credibility.
It's not about hating. It's just indifferent.
I love you, Arnold.
I kind of forgot he did that movie about being pregnant. That was so dumb.
Yeah. And he also had, Twins. He talked about how Twins was such a big, impactful role in his life.
That was like the first, like the biggest grossing movie at the time ever.
Yeah. I love Arnold. I love Arnold Schwarzenegger. Hey, speaking of love, I want to say something else. We are going to love to party this Friday, starting at 10 a.m. at the West Covina Sports Complex. Your entire 710 family is going to be in the house, pressing the flesh. All right? Lots of food, games, drinks, giveaways, fun for your entire family. Special thanks to Johnsonville. Johnsonville, America's favorite sausage, or America's favorito sausage.
Wait, what?
Just a little flavor to it, George. That's all I'm saying. A little spice.
Okay.
You feel that?
I guess, yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway, Arnold Schwarzenegger, I love the guy.
You do?
I do.
Okay.
I do indeed.
I'm glad you do.
I do.
Not for me, bro.
I understand. So, speaking of football for a quick second, I know yesterday you were saying, because we only had an hour, you wanted to jump into that Pat Fitzgerald story.
I feel like you're uniquely qualified to have this discussion because you played big-time college football.
I'll tell you, George, it's one of those stories, though, like hazing, coach gets fired, then you hear about racism and, sexual assault and, nudity in the locker room. And I'm like, gosh, those are like the stories that I put my hand up over my eyes, like, ugh, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it. But you can't really escape these kinds of stories, right? I mean, a conference that USC and UCLA are moving into, all of a sudden, I have more interest in these kinds of teams. Northwestern is a school I think of like Stanford, Cal, Virginia, North Carolina, Duke. I mean, I think of them as being like one of the great academic institutions that's not an Ivy League school.
Right.
And then to have this sort of a scandal happen in your football program, not good, my friend. You think the coaches know about this kind of stuff when it happens?
I'm presuming so.
I am too.
I think at worst they're being like negligent. Like one of the stories I read said like when it got brought up that one of the coaches like, I don't want to hear it. I don't know what you're talking about, and just like walked away,
When I first read this story, I thought to myself, there's a kid who did not have a good experience, who thought he should have been more or played a different position or should be in the NFL now, and that coach held him back, and I'm going to get that coach. Like that was like my first thought. And then you just keep reading on and on and on, and I mean, just the allegations alone, true, false, whatever is ultimately proven, you're a school like that, you just can't even have that. You can't even, it's just toxic. That's where you got to fire a coach. But I'll tell you, all these coaches that always tell you things like, well, I don't know. I don't ever really believe that. I kind of feel like oftentimes coaches say to their players, it's kind of like, George, remember the movie, what's the Tom Cruise movie with Jack Nicholson? You can't handle the truth.
A Few Good Men.
Yeah, you can't handle the truth. Right. It's like a code red. Did you order the code red? Hey, you want me on that wall. You need me on that wall. Mm-hmm. Did you order the code red? You can't handle the truth, Sedano.
Why can't I handle the truth?
Well, I mean, that was just for dramatic effect.
Oh,
you know?
I was going to say.
But I think these coaches, honestly, in their own football way, order code reds to try and weed out what they think is weakness. Or let's get scholarships back. Or this guy can't play. He's not what I thought he was. Let's get him out of the program. Have the guys make him quit. Bully him. Beat on him. Embarrass him. Humiliate him. Oh, man, I don't buy this when coaches tell me that they didn't know any of this was going on.
It's going to be fascinating because he's going to sue the school. You know what I mean? And I'm curious to see what that leads to. Now, that could be – I don't know if that's always the right move, because if they start doing more digging and you make this like a legal process, even though it is civil, right, there could be a lot of stuff that comes out of there that you may not want if you're Pat Fitzgerald. Like, you just got to be careful.
All I know is this. I read this quote from the kid who is the accuser. And he said, hey, look, I had a great experience. I love being a Northwestern alum, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, if you love your school and you loved your experience and you're 10-plus years removed from playing, why is this happening right now?
Yeah. I just thought it was look, and by the way, honestly, like, I was listening to some meathead who will remain nameless. And it was just like, you know, it's just guys being guys, locker room behavior and stuff. Look, man, if the stuff that's in there is true, let's just say, because we don't know for sure yet, right? Mm-hmm. It's like, yeah, I could see where somebody would be uncomfortable with that. And just because it's always been done shouldn't be that it always continues to be done. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of, because the way it's funny, like when even the people who are defending it, right, say like, oh, it's just silly, stupid behavior. Well, then why do we accept the silly, stupid behavior is my question. You know? Like, just move on. Like, just play football and find other ways to create camaraderie, you know?
You mean like a bunch of guys in the shower after practice wrestling naked and then holding a guy down on the floor and one guy putting his stuff in the other guy's face? Like, we should, like, eliminate that stuff, right?
Especially if someone's uncomfortable with it, sure.
Oh, man, you should see some of the wacky stuff.
I bet. But what I'm saying is, like, you know, and if you're another coach, let's just do the flip side to this. Don't you eliminate all this hazing stuff? I mean, even if you don't think it's happening, don't you have a meeting and say, this should never happen, this will never happen, at the very least for self-preservation, even if you don't have an opinion on it, with, right. You know, what, right. You should do what's right anyway, like, right. Don't get me wrong, right? Like, you obviously should do the right thing, but even if you're the most selfish coach in the world, just for self-preservation, you would do it.
Right, you should just tell your team over and over again, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, so that there's a bunch of people saying, you know, Coach always said don't do it.
Right, and no, zero tolerance. If somebody does it, you're out. You're off the team, right? Or suspended or whatever, because you're going to get fired too.
I had one experience. I know we got to hit this break. I had one experience one night where, to this day, I'm still convinced that the coach sent the players to do a job, which was essentially to get my scholarship back and try and get me to quit. Because I was in the middle of a red shirt, and they're like, you know what, we get our scholarship back and we get this guy to quit. Go have these guys do this. And, dude, it was bad. Well, it could have been a lot worse.
Right. Mason is back here for a second time looking for his glasses.
Hi, Mace.
These are my favorite glasses.
Hi, Mace.
Yeah.
Look at him. Look at him. He's just walking in the studio looking for his glasses, distracting George.
Oh, I told him George is on his phone. It's okay. You can go in there.
No, I mean, I'm listening to you.
I'm teasing you, George.
Look at Mace. Look at him.
Actually, my phone, look, for the YouTube audience, is in my pocket.
Yeah, he's on his computer.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
All right.
The laptop.
Steve Mason showing up tonight with Jacob and Ronnie.
Where
for
are your glasses,
LAFC.
All right, we got to go to break, Mr.
All right.
Cupping.
All right.
All right. Cappy, tell the folks about Coors. I'm going to go to the bathroom.
All right, do your thing. Hey, listen, right now it is 6:31 p.m. Look outside wherever you are. I mean, we are literally 2 hours away from sunset. The days are getting longer. The sun has gotten things really heated up, right? And the SoCal summer is now upon us. Get ready, because Coors Light and the Angels are keeping Southern California chill all summer long. We're giving away your chance to win the ultimate Angels prize pack. It's game tickets. It's that super cool Hawaiian Angels Coors Light shirt. And, yeah, we're giving away icy cold Coors Light. Go to this website, keepingcachill.com, keepingcachill.com. Use the keyword Angels for your chance to win. You're going to be at the beach. You're going to be looking up in the sky. You're going to see a plane flying that says icy cold Coors Light, and you're going to think to yourself, keepingchachill.com, the keyword Coors Light.
Prescription. The battle for playoff position is on for LAFC.
Crosses in the middle, Baylor, goal! Ball don't lie!
And coming to downtown LA for the first time is first place St. Louis City.
Oh, boy, another shot, goal!
It's the reigning MLS Cup champs facing the top team in the West. Pre-game of LAFC and St. Louis City starts tonight at 7 p.m. on 710 ESPN.
All right, hey, make sure you get yourself out to the West Covina Sportsplex coming up on July 14th. It is our All-Star Friday night. Team Mason and Team Travis. I'm on Mason's team for the second year in a row. We're looking to go back-to-back. I'm looking to hit another home run. I'm looking to beat Slee's team for the second year in a row. We're going to have a great time. Come on out. Celebrate with us. You'll have a great time. You'll see some very bad softball. You're going to laugh. You'll have a ball. Come on out. All-Star Friday night, West Covina Sportsplex on July 14th.
Well, let me tell you something, brother. It's the All-Star Friday night. We're going to see you there from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. at the West Covina Sportsplex, brother. And let me tell you something. This year, I'm hitting home runs, not giving them up. Ugh! All right, Sedano. Where are you at, Sedano? I'll take it away. How about that? Time for big deal or no deal, which means here she is, Lindsay Baseball, standing by.
Thanks, Cappy. All right, so, Cappy, I don't know if you saw this. One of the main stories on ESPN.com today is that John Gruden intends to, quote, burn the NFL's house down with everything that's been going on with the emails that triggered his firing, and it was basically Commanders owner Daniel Snyder kind of leaking the emails, which is now coming back to haunt him because, again, this is turning into a big mess for both him and John Gruden. And like I said, Gruden's quote was that he tends to burn the NFL's house down with this whole trial. And he's trying to sue the NFL for leaking this information publicly. Do you think that him saying that and his intentions to do so are a big deal or no deal?
I do. I think it's a big deal. Because John Gruden was making a lot of money as the Raiders head coach. Remember, he had that 10-year, $100 million contract. And prior to that, as a Monday Night Football analyst and an ESPN personality, he was making plenty of money there too. And prior to that, he made a lot of money. Here's my point. John Gruden has been canceled by the NFL. Somebody chose to air him out. Now, hold on. I'm not condoning what he said, so let's not go crazy. I'm just saying that someone aired John Gruden out. Somebody decided to put out a hit on John Gruden. And here's the thing. While Gruden's made a lot of money, and he's got plenty of money if he wants to spend it on lawyers, you don't think that there are lawyers out there that would love to take this case? You're representing Gruden against the NFL? I mean, these guys will take that case on a contingency. So I think it's a really big deal. What do you say, George?
Huge deal. I think it could be huge problems if he's got the goods, right? Like, if you don't got the goods, then it's not going to matter, right? But if he's got the goods, if he can somehow prove that, then it is a monster case for sure.
Like, what else are they expecting to come out of this that we don't already know? Like, there's got to be more to it, right?
Well, I think what's more to it is this. And think about it like this. Why is he the only guy that got whacked in this whole deal? I mean, why?
Because he's the only one who talked about it.
Where did he?
But
talk
you're right.
about
But
it?
you're right. Actually, now that you mention, I know what you mean by the question. Like, obviously there were emails for everybody that were leaked and seen, and he specifically was picked out of all those emails to say this guy was saying these things, when a lot of other coaches, or you would assume that a lot of them have said, unsightly things or,
Well, I mean, just bottom
offensive
line,
things.
Put it this way. They could have buried it and kept it quiet. They chose not to. Somebody somewhere decided that they were going to oust Gruden. And I mean, at least that's the way it looks to me. Now, doesn't make John Gruden some angel, because it makes him going to make him look dumber, because
they're going to have a lot of dirt on him, more than even was probably already put out there. So he's got to be careful too. Again,
think about that. I mean, you're going to read what he said. You're going to have access to all of that stuff, and you're going to think to yourself, "Hey, John, why would you ever, whether you're working for ESPN or working for an NFL team, why would you ever put that in writing?" I mean, dude, I'm careful with what I text people.
Except what you say to Britney Spears on the show.
Free Britney.
All right, so yesterday...
Talking about us on her Instagram.
I know.
At least she could have said the name of the show.
Not what she's going to follow it up.
Or other people, and, we get legal letters here.
Yeah,
right.
you're going to get famous in a way that you don't want, Cappy.
I want Britney to chase me down. My security guy knows who she is.
Oh, no. Look what you're bringing on to us. Once again, Sedano and Kap, ESPN LA, and Good Karma Broadcasting does not endorse anything that Kap says during the show.
I don't know what I said that was so bad.
I'm just saying, I don't want
We're
that
just
smoke.
distancing ourselves from a legal perspective.
Yeah, I don't want that smoke.
Exactly.
All right, so yesterday, the NBA's Board of Governors approved 2 rule changes that will go into effect next season. One is a second coach's challenge, and the other is an in-game flopping penalty. So for the coach's challenge, if a team gets a challenge correct earlier in a game, it will now have a chance for a second one later.
And they'll keep their timeout. Right, they'll still do that, but you won't keep this. If you challenge a second time, you'll still lose the timeout after that, but you'll get a second chance at a challenge, which is the rule that a lot of people have been screaming about forever. Like, why do you lose it if you win it?
Right. And the second one is the flopping penalty. Now, when a referee calls a flop, there will be a non-unsportsmanlike technical foul called on the offending player's team.
And they keep possession, right?
Yes.
Right. Now, previous to that, it was just a fine. So now it affects the on-the-court situation. Yes.
And the opposing team will get a free throw. So
correct.
Are these new rules a big deal or no deal?
Yeah, I think it's a big deal. I think having an extra challenge in your back pocket is particularly huge, I would say. The flopping one is going to be wild because it's going to be somewhat they're going to call a lot of them early. People are going to think it's too subjective, and it's going to be crazy like they do whenever they change any rule in a professional sport. But I do think the challenge one makes a ton of sense. Like, that to me should have been done much sooner, but here we are.
I only think it's a big deal because of the flopping foul, the flopping call. Think about what happens when LeBron flops or AD flops. I mean, not only are they going to flop, then they're probably going to get teed up for arguing about flopping.
I like the way you say flop.
I'm actually really looking forward to a lot of flippy floppy.
Flop.
Flippy floppy fouls. He's a flopper. I remember when everybody used to call Shaq a flopper, and he'd like, I take offense to that.
Well, actually, Shaq was never the flopper. He was the guy calling out the floppers, actually. It was the reverse. He would call out Vlade Divac. He called them the president of the flopternity.
He hates the floppers.
Yeah,
I take that personal.
It was the other way around.
No, he had this quote. He was like, man, he goes, I take that personal.
Was that a Southern Shaq?
No, not Southern. There's no Southern in there.
It sounded like you were trying to do Charles there for a second.
No, not at all. I take that personal, Chuck. Hey, Chuck.
There you go. Hey,
Fluffy, they could take that personal, Chuck.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So last one here. I found this story from the AP pretty interesting. The headline is, quote, baseball players are staying mindful on the diamond with barefoot walks in the grass. So the story focuses specifically on Diamondbacks first baseman Christian Walker, pun intended, I guess, who has been practicing grounding for years. He says that walking around barefoot in the grass before a game has to do with harnessing the Earth's energy. Players, which I guess there's a lot of them, who participate in barefoot walking say that the benefits are wide-ranging. They give the feet opportunity to move without the constraints of shoes to potentially decrease pain and inflammation. It lowers stress and helps normalize the nervous system for improved sleep and day-to-day function, among other potential benefits for the heart, cortisol levels, and mental health. Is this practice of grounding for you a big deal or no deal? Cappy.
No deal. I'll give you an example why. So I don't play golf that often anymore, pretty rarely as a matter of fact. But when I do, I must tell you, and I know this is going to sound weird, I really prefer playing barefooted. Playing golf barefoot is great. If it's a really nice golf course with really nice grass and fairways, and you can play barefoot, I don't know why, I prefer playing golf barefoot. I like the feel of the grass on my feet.
I love being barefoot in nice grass. I did it all my life growing up. I do it now in my yard. Sure. I like being barefoot. It's fine.
It makes me want to walk on a baseball field barefoot because I can feel it. Like, I can see.
Well,
like
I mean, not the dirt part of it, but the grass. Yeah, sure.
Like, the little grass in between your toes and being like, like right before you go play a game.
How's that?
Like what?
Okay.
To your point, Cappy, obviously you feel like there's a benefit, golfing without your shoes on. It's freeing,
well,
right?
It's just what they said, grounding. It's like I'm getting a chance to kind of like put my feet into the earth.
Yeah. So it's like it should be a big deal because you're like, yeah, I already do that. I'm on top of that.
Yeah. That's why I kind of think it's no deal because I'm already on top of it.
I thought it was cool and interesting. And,
I like it.
baseball players, I feel like they're the best. They just really are.
Are they? I feel like baseball players are historically the biggest pains in the asses.
Yes, but I feel like a lot of their quirks make them very intriguing.
I mean, I guess
in a good way.
That's a different story. But I actually think baseball players, because you have to deal with them so often in 162 games, they're usually the biggest pains in the tuchus.
Just like you, Cappy.
I was thinking more like NBA players.
Oh, it's not even close, dude. NBA players are available like 2 and 3 times a day on a game day. Like baseball players, I've seen baseball pitchers shouting at sports writers because it's not their day. And the NFL is just as bad too. Oh, you can only speak to so-and-so on a Tuesday and you can't speak to him on a Wednesday.
I love that voice.
It's like ridiculous, man. Baseball is looser than the NFL, but the guys get more ornery about it, is what I would say.
It's funny, my dad in his retired life, you know what he does now, George?
Yeah, he collects urine.
Yeah, he's a drug tester.
That's awesome.
And he's like, dude.
He's the Whizzinator guy.
Yeah.
That's great.
He's like, dude, if they win, it's great. Everybody's having a nice time. Nobody cares. Hey, yeah, sure, I'll pee in the cup. They lose. It's like a morgue in there, and everybody wants to get out, and you are a massive problem for them. And he was telling me the story about this game he went to the other night in the Miami Marlins. The pitcher gave up this game-winning home run or something, and he had to get this guy to pee in a cup afterwards. I mean, you imagine having to talk to a Major League Baseball pitcher who just gave up a game-winning walk-off home run. Yo, man, sorry, but can you pee in this cup?
I'd be like, take that cup and shove it.
Yeah, that's pretty much what these guys say to him.
Well, I was asking you, Cap, because, you're Wade Boggs or whichever.
Trey Gloss.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget about Adrian Beltre,
Nolan
George
Arenado.
Brett, Mike Schmidt.
Hey, Schmitty.
Brooks Robinson.
That's right.
Jinx.
Paul Molitor.
Yeah. Paul Molitor, though, did switch to DH also, much like Edgar Martinez.
Robin Ventura.
Greg Nettles. Nobody here has mentioned Greg Nettles at all.
Somebody in the circle of trusted.
Oh, really?
Yeah, very early in the proceedings.
Anybody get to Frank Baker from back in 1908?
No.
Bobby Bonilla?
Bobby Bo still cashing in.
Mm-hmm, still getting paid like a mug.
That is a big deal or no deal each and every day at 6:30 at Jason. One more segment to go, Dealer's Choice. And Cappy is afraid of spider webs or something? I don't know, something like that. We'll find out from him next.
The battle for playoff position is on for LAFC. The battle for playoff position is on for LAFC.
Crosses in the middle, Baylor, goal! Ball don't lie!
And coming to downtown LA for the first time is first place St. Louis City.
Oh boy, another shot, goal!
It's the reigning MLS Cup champs facing the top team in the West. Pre-game of LAFC and St. Louis City starts Wednesday night at 7 p.m. on 710 ESPN and the ESPN LA app.
Well, let me tell you something, brother. It's the All-Star Friday night. We're going to see you there from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. at the West Covina Sportsplex, brother. And let me tell you something. This year, I'm hitting home runs, not giving them up.
The battle for playoff position is on for LAFC.
And Estrella Jalisco, your official beers of All-Star Friday night. I can't wait to crack open a Michelob Ultra all day long on Friday at the West Covina Sportsplex. Be sure to be there and press the flesh with us. Meanwhile, on this day, back in 1986, a Cappy record, the #1 hit was Simply Red, holding back the years.
Ooh.
Sedano and Kap continues your Wednesday afternoon right now.
I like this video back in the day. The guy from Simply Red had like this long red curly hair that like would come into his face. He kind of reminded me of Casper Villa. Anybody see Casper's video today on Twitter?
I
see
did.
that, George?
I did, yeah.
Hey, Casper, you
did
are
a
the
great
man.
job as always.
You are the man, buddy. Appreciate you, bud.
Keep holding on. It'll eventually get there.
Yeah.
I was going to say we both sang too early. I was singing too.
No, it's a long, actually, it's a long lead-in, yeah. Lead up, I think, is the way you
Long
describe
first
it.
verse.
By the way, USA in big trouble here. Panama
I
up
thought they were in
1-0.
extra time.
They are in extra time. I've got it at 101 minutes and change. And so Panama's got a 1-0 lead now after scoring. And U.S., I don't know how much time is left here. Probably not very much. U.S. in big trouble here.
Okay.
And then we'll see what happens with Mexico tonight.
Mexico.
See.
See.
Game in Vegas. Who's Mexico playing tonight? I don't remember. Jamaica, maybe? That sound right?
I don't know. I haven't checked. I thought you were all over this.
I'm almost sure it's Jamaica.
I thought you were the soccer guy.
I'm not the soccer guy. I'm just interested.
I was just
Better
gonna
call
say.
Landon.
Yeah,
It is
call
Jamaica.
Landon. Maybe
It is Jamaica.
I mean, if he's going to pay for your lunch, you might as well at least know what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Expensive lunch, too. Very expensive sushi place.
Cappy, I was just looking at the ESPYs stuff, some of the ESPY stuff now, and Haley Van Lith, who's an excellent women's college basketball player who was at Louisville, now is at the champion LSU. She just transferred to, through the portal. She's there, and she's walking down, and she's being styled by someone I know, Victoria Jacoby, who she goes on Twitter by Count on Vic and on Instagram, and she's a stylist. She styles a lot of NBA players. She styles WNBA, a lot of athletes, right? Like that's what she does. She's a stylist. I should have thought about her when we did the Mandy's to like talk to you about your style. Like we should have brought her on to just like discuss what you were going to wear or what you were wearing or whatever, et cetera, et cetera. Remind me next year we absolutely need to do that because she's posting a bunch of the athletes, male and female, that she styled for the ESPYs. And I'm like, oh, this is what we should have done. We should have brought in a professional to talk to Cappy.
Yeah, but on the other hand, don't you think that you could also use her advice? I mean, I go for
Oh,
it.
that
You
was a
pretty
shot.
straight up. I mean, you're like pretty... You're pretty straight, you know what I mean? Like maybe
yeah,
she-
that is my style. That I'm not trying to be outrageous. I'm just trying to do me.
I know, but I'm saying like there's a way to spice it up and do you at the same time.
I mean, perhaps. I'm
And
not
that's
saying
why
I'm
she's a
against. I mean,
stylist.
she's a professional, so I
Right.
would take her advice in a heartbeat.
Right.
But
Absolutely.
I'm just curious because you try to go for more outrageous
Right.
and see how she feels about
Right.
that.
I mean, the first thing she's going to tell me is put on a shirt, fat guy. You know, That's like the first. And the second thing she'll tell me is put
What
on
was
a
the
shirt.
first thing? I'm sorry, I missed that.
Put on a shirt, fat guy.
Right, maybe.
And then the second thing is going to be put on a shirt, old guy.
Right.
So I'm sure that's going to be her first advice.
Yeah, I think that we should have. Next time, what we'll do is we'll have, at the very least, I'll send her the pictures.
Yeah.
Next time, and then see if she can do like what we did with like Sean McVay and those guys, where they like commented, and then she can do just like a post on what's going on and like the outfits and stuff. So
we can still do that. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe on Saturday, July 29th at Rams training camp, maybe I should rock that jacket from the Mandy's, and then when Sean McVay comes over, tell us what he thinks.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, we'll use Vic. I feel like we should utilize her as someone I run into all the time at arenas. Like it makes a ton of sense.
Okay, I'd like to do
utilize the connection to judge your drip.
Right, exactly.
I wonder if I can hire her to style me.
You probably need a lot of money, is my guess.
Just for one event.
I mean, I'm just saying she's not cheap.
Oh, I'm sure she's
Maybe
not.
she's working with professional athletes.
Yeah, that's true.
What are you owing about?
Yeah, what are you yelling about?
What a goal by the U.S.
Oh, I thought you were owing because I was taking a shot.
I was like,
I'm like,
USA.
Oh.
USA.
That's your goal,
That's
yeah,
horrible,
that's terrible,
bro.
dude, bro. Yeah, seriously.
I have a better
¿Qué es
goal.
eso?
I have a better
¿Qué
goal.
es eso?
No soy tan buena.
Oy.
Go, 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 go.
Sedano has a good one.
Sounds
Go
like
for
you're
it.
choking there, bro.
Yeah.
Sedano did a long one, right? You did like what?
Yeah.
Choking.
I don't
It did sound like he was choking.
I am choking. That was an unbelievable goal.
Somebody was doing the Heimlich on him.
An amazing goal.
Speaking of
105
goals,
minutes.
do you know who's
Yeah.
on the line right now?
Who dat?
It's Mario Ruiz.
Hey, LAFC tonight against St. Louis at the bank.
Who is St. Louis again, Cappy?
With his very own walk-up song. I'm walking up to my own song. How is that?
I love that. That's fantastic at the game on Friday. Now, Cappy, could you tell Mario who the LAFC is playing tonight?
Taking on LAFC is going to be the number one team in the Western Conference, St. Louis, tonight at the bank.
What is St. Louis, though?
The St. Louis Firebirds.
No,
come
they're
into
not.
Town.
I told you earlier they're the
on
St. Louis City.
710
Yeah.
St.
ESPN.
Louis City Soccer Club.
Yeah.
What's up, Mario?
It's a good one tonight. Expansion team in first place. Can you believe that? They're doing their
I mean,
thing.
I can. I mean, I recall something very similar, to be honest with you. So.
Yeah, this is the first time ever here at BMO Stadium. The St. Louis is here, and possible Western Conference Finals preview here.
There you go, Cappy.
Hey, Mario,
What's
listen,
up?
as much as we could talk LAFC, let's talk
We got to
about
talk about
something.
this softball game, right?
Because, bro, I mean,
What's up?
I'm going to be out on the field tonight practicing because I want you as my teammate to know how committed I am to giving
I
you
want to
everything
know
I got.
what your walk-up song is. If Mario's doing his own song, what are you doing, Cappy?
I picked out my song that makes me feel like I'm walking in slow motion and just gliding along the earth.
Yeah?
That's Disco Inferno, Jack.
Okay. You do you, bro.
What do you have? What's your walk-up
Oh,
song?
come on. Bad Bunny, Dakiti.
Really?
Yeah,
Not
man.
Gloria Estefan? Mighty
that
Sound
would
Machine?
be good if it was like, come on, shake your body, baby, do that conga. That'd be great.
Yeah, I did Bad Bunny last year. That's not a bad choice right there.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
When I walk up, Mario.
You're batting cleanup, right? How is that happening?
How is that happening?
I think he got moved out of that role.
That's the first thing I saw. I was like,
But
wait.
why? Why do you think that's bad?
I thought it'd be like Kirk Morrison or Matt Burke, honestly.
Yeah, but I have no issue. I'm happy to hit third. I'm happy to hit fifth. I don't care. I like to be in the heart of the order. I like that kind of pressure.
Because, I'm going to get on. And
Oh,
then
exactly.
Briones will get on. And then so the next up will be Kirk. And that's
So
probably a
three-run
home run.
home
So
run,
we're up
right.
We're up 3-0.
Right. So then I come up and I hit a solo shot. Now we're up 4.
Okay. I like that confidence.
There you go. Well, I've been out working. I've been out working hard, man.
I saw you. I saw that video on IG.
Ramona said he needs to put his butt down, though, more if he's going to
That's
field
true.
at third.
That's true. I agree with that. That's why. But George, that's why I practiced. It's why I shot video. It's why I put it out for public consumption because I wanted coaching. Because I'm that kind of a ball player.
Who's
I
playing
desire
shortstop?
coaching.
Who's playing shortstop on my team? Do we know?
Let me look at the
Is it
lineup.
Clinton Yates?
Oh, it's going to be Clinton, yeah.
Oh,
the
it
big
says it right
CY.
up there on the whiteboard.
Yeah, but it doesn't say his position.
Yeah, it does. It says it right.
Yeah, he's shortstop.
No, it says
they only have it
Mario.
on
It says
Sliwa's.
Sliwa's team.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
I'm shortstop on the Sliwa team.
I know,
and
I
let's
see
get
that.
by
That's
me.
why.
Mario,
I was
you
gonna
and me, buddy.
I can
You and
assure
me.
you that.
I was going to say, me and Mario could have been the double play tandem, you know what I'm saying? But it'll have to be me and the CY now, you know?
Mario,
in
you
high
and
school,
me,
they used to
short
call
and
me
third.
Hoover because I used to vacuum everything up.
Okay, now.
So
Now
watch
they
out.
should call you Dyson.
Dyson.
Yeah, it's a different vacuum brand that, like.
Oh, okay.
Oh my gosh,
Okay,
really?
More contemporary.
That was a
So,
bad dad joke.
Mario,
Yes,
what do we got
bad.
tonight? Talk to me tonight.
Yeah, St. Louis, man. St. Louis they scored 40 goals, 10 more than LAFC has scored. So they're racking up a bunch of goals, and they're winning on the road as well. They're in first place in the West, so it's on tonight. It's a good one. I know we have the ESPN LA Sweet Night tonight, so they picked a good one.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll
Shout
be
out to
listening
Mason,
in.
Jacob and Ronnie and all those guys that are out there.
We'll be listening on the drive home. Mario, you're the best, brother. We'll see you Friday.
All right, guys, it's on.
Get ready to ball on Friday night at the West Covina Sports Complex.
Cappy, take us to break on the shouting out the LAFC. Great job, Cappy, Lindsay, Laura, and Christopher, and Beto for chiming in, and Mario for chiming in. Cappy, take us to break. Take us to the LAFC. Go.
It's time for LAFC soccer right now on the home of your defending MLS champion LAFC on 710. Right now.
If you're